Welcome to Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup. I'm your host, Jason Bland, and tonight we have returning guest, spiritual medium, healer, and author, Carole Obley. We're going to have her on for about an hour and a half after our World Wide Web of Weird News segment. We'll spend about an hour talking about rising above fear, which is something I really feel right now is important to talk about because I have my own fears right now. I'm sure a lot of you do. Anxiety, are you suffering with that? It's good to get some insight from Carole. She was so great last time she was on, and especially with the callers in, with the readings. And we will do readings, but just about 30 minutes of readings tonight. We'll do that after our second commercial break. About 3 minutes, no medical or legal advice, and just so we can get the max callers in. But we will do some readings with her. And then after Carole's off, we're going to probably do some live spirit boxing. Hopefully, Rob's not having any technical problems right now. Praying for you, Rob, because I don't have my spirit box totally set up. But we got Rob, we got Jamie, might be able to run some stuff, and you guys can call in and we can talk about some stuff. I have some other UFO footage I want to show later in the show. So there's a lot to get to. So let's go ahead and get rolling right into it. Welcome to another night of Paranormal Soup. As I said before, I'm your host, Jason Bland. Tonight's guest, Carole Obley, will be joining us after the World Wide Web of Weird, after our first commercial break. And we got a lot to talk about. She was so great last time we had her on. So I decided to bring her back early. We had her back in December. Sometimes it takes, I get it booked ahead months, but I made sure I wanted to get her booked when I had an opening. I was like, I wanted to get her right in here because I think it's a good time to get some spiritual guidance. And she was so wonderful last time. It'll be excellent to talk to her again. Of course, joining me is my beautiful co-host, Jamie D. How you doing tonight, Jamie?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Got a lot of weird to get to tonight. There's some stuff we were talking about, and I want your perspective because you're out in California. And I've been saying on the show during the World Wide Web of Weird that with the coronavirus keeping everybody on lockdown and the air traffic way down, I know it is in my area, that you can go out and look for UFOs. Are they coming out and are they curious? Well, you said there's some stuff going on in California, and I have that in the World Wide Web of Weird, so I want your insight on that. And of course, World Wide Web of Weird running himself is Rob Autry. How you doing tonight, Rob?
Well, living on a wing and a prayer, hopefully.
Yeah, we are living on a wing and a prayer. Technical difficulties right before the show with Rob.
Yeah, I'm doing great. My
mixer, not so much. Yeah. Keep your fingers crossed because we need Rob. We need Rob here. And we especially need him because he helps me run the World Wide Web of Weird. So speaking of that, let's go ahead and roll into the World Wide Web of Weird. Tonight on the World Wide Web of Weird, like I said, I've been telling people, go out, look, me and my wife have been stepping outside at times, just in the middle of the night, looking for UFOs. Haven't seen anything yet. I don't know. They're not interested in Indiana, but they might be growing interest in what's going around in the country. The total lack of people going out, or should be lack of people going out, right? Well, California's had a lot, and we're going to start off with one famous Californian, Tom DeLonge, of course, films UFO off a California coast. For those listening on our Paranormal Soup radio network, we are a webcast. We do show pictures and videos sometimes, and we do have some stuff tonight. And later in the show, I have no article for them. That's why I didn't put in the World Wide Web of Weird. This one is really viral, the moon. So we'll get to that later tonight in the show, probably before we do some spirit boxing. But this one, co-founder of the To the Stars group and Blink 182, right? Reported that he had witnessed something unusual on Tuesday night. As one of the founders of the organization that claims to have been working to independently verify the exotic properties of alleged alien metamaterials, DeLonge is certainly no stranger to UFOs. On March 31st, and there's a lot of other people on March 31st we're going to get to, he had his own first-hand encounter with an unidentified flying object. So last night, I get a text from somebody that there was a UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon. Come on, call it UFO. Right off the beach where I live, he wrote, I grabbed Marie, jumped in my truck, and went straight down to the beach. We were the only ones on the beach last night. As the lights disappeared, reappeared, broke into three pieces, stacked vertically with one little red dot flying around the top, and then disappeared for the rest of the evening. DeLonge managed to capture footage that we're going to show here in a second, although it's hard to make out any detail. It's really just a light in the sky. The video doesn't show much, but we're up quite late watching the light dance around half a mile to a mile off the beach. It was huge, and it was fiery orange. Lou Elizondo checked immediately. There were no flights in the area except one that I had my eyes on the entire time. No military, no boats, and a bunch of hovering lights that were stacking on top of each other. Wild. Who knows? That was his Twitter post. All right. Go ahead and see if you can zoom into that, Rob, and play that. I mean, it is just really just a light, but. But he said he saw a lot of crazy things, and he's not the only one. So that was Tom DeLonge's. Now, this is from dailystar.co.uk. Same day, March 31st, multiple witnesses see strange row of lights in the sky from California to Mexico. So there's a lot of people that saw what he was seeing. That's what I find this interesting. Now, Jamie, tell me what you were talking about before the show, before we get to this. You're muted.
In our next door, the next door neighbors website app, one of our neighbors had mentioned that it's between 3 and 5 days, I think it's been, towards Travis Air Force Base. He saw two lights hovering kind of like drones. One of the neighbors says, no, it's Venus. And he's like, no, Venus doesn't move around like, a drone. We've had really, really clear skies up until yesterday. It's been so blue, no contrails in the air, nothing. I mean, you can see the sun, you see the moon. There was like one plane I heard come over yesterday. I do know a couple of people this area do fly drones, but this was off towards the base.
Yeah.
And another guy in Pleasanton, which is like 20 minutes from here, said he saw it too. Nobody got any footage of it, but.
Well, some people did. So go ahead.
When you brought this up, that was really interesting.
Yeah, some people did. This is from Daily Star. Viewers have suggested mysterious lights could be anything from aliens, UFOs, or Elon Musk's Starlink satellites. Because I think a couple months ago, that's what the case was. There was the Starlink satellites, and they were like lined up in a row of lights. People saw that. A line of unusual lights has been spotted hovering in the night sky, with witnesses from both U.S. and Mexico claiming to have seen them. Several witnesses have shared the videos online from the site on March 31st. One video posted by Mutual UFO Network shows 4 orbs appearing to change color above Laguna Beach in California. Another light then appears as the object hovering in a perfect line. Some 80 miles down the coast, another video emerged the same night over San Diego. Again, lights seem to hover in a straight line before slowly disappearing one by one. But it wasn't just California residents that spotted lights. Another 40 miles south of San Diego in Mexico City of Playas de Tijuana, a third video showed of 7 mysterious objects hovering in the same formation. Now, again, I wouldn't be surprised if we get an article in a day or two that says this was all Elon Musk's satellites. Again, I don't know. Go ahead and play the footage, Rob.
Again, that looks almost identical to what I saw several months ago.
And then
Yeah, I remember.
Came on again.
Oh, now your audio cut. Oh, you muted yourself, Rob. You're muted
does.
on. There we go. Maybe, I don't know, or it's his mixing board. Go ahead and just play the video. We won't have any audio. Rob's having audio problems. Oh, now here's something. Maybe. I thought I heard something from the videos. I don't know if all the videos have sound either.
That reminds me of the train of lights, though.
It does, yeah. Yeah, it's like the same kind of train of lights. So I'm waiting to hear that it's something along those lines. And they did say, I mean, I read about Musk doing this months ago. They said they were going to be sending thousands of satellites up a day. So it could be that. I don't know. All right, moving on. This one, again, I don't know if this had audio, and Rob's having audio issues. So sorry, Rob. Hopefully we'll get that fixed during the commercial break. But this next one is intriguing. This one's from South Korea. Intriguing dash cam video from a driver in South Korea shows a trio of lights mysteriously appear in the night sky before vanishing into the air. The curious footage was reportedly recorded last Tuesday evening as the witness was driving home from his work near the city of Dijon. Probably butchered that. Much of the motorist amazed. His otherwise routine commute took a weird turn when he noticed something anomalous, flying objects off in the distance. Now, last Tuesday, let's see. This was April 3rd. Last Tuesday, would that have been March 31st? What was Tuesday's date?
I'm looking it up real quick.
Yeah, let me know. What something may have been is, of course, anyone's guess. Some theories put forward the observers, or I missed a part here. The ID initially appeared as a singular ball of light, but it was soon joined by a second and then a third orb hovering along outside. As quickly as anomalies appeared in the sky, they disappeared, leaving behind no trace of their presence. Or watch that in a second. But it seems kind of similar. That's why I was wondering what date Tuesday fell on.
The 31st.
It was. So same day. So in South Korea. All right. Well, let's go ahead and pull that up.
While driving home from work,
Oh, I hear it. And now I don't. It's all right. We don't have to hear it anyways. It's just dash cam footage and some guy talking, so it's fine. But pull it up full screen maybe. It's just really small. Dash cam footage is something that's the hardest, so it's going to be always crummy. But it's interesting. This all happened March 31st. Is this satellites? Something else? And they saw this in South Korea. Same time on the coast of California, they're seeing it. I don't know. Now's the time to look for UFOs, people. But again, it's another kind of row of lights. Tom DeLonge talked about seeing them stack upon each other. I didn't mean up and down. I don't know. Well, let's move on. This is a kind of creepy story from India. Remember I talked about creatures, mysterious creatures like Bigfoot, getting curious about why everybody's locked up or inside. I don't know if what their quarantine's going on in India. It doesn't seem like they have it too bad, but I think, things could be different there. I don't know. A mysterious creature knocks on windows and doors at nights and sparks panic in India. Mysterious creature comes, this is from the Anomalian, ANOM alien.com. Mysterious creature causes fear among residents living in Kirkukad, North, Kirkukad, Villanur, I don't know. Somewhere in India. There's like 7 titles here. A lot of different towns. So a lot of people have seen these strange creatures roaming around the region. The creatures appear on the rooftops and in the front yards of houses after 9 p.m. Local residents claim that a dark shape that is not entirely visible due to darkness, of course, frequently causes noises by banging on the doors or windows of the houses. Citizens have been waiting for the last 4 days to see what this creature is, but is said to be incredibly fast as it jumps over walls and runs from house to house. Last night, a group of villagers pursued, but the entity got to the terrace of the house and ran away after sliding down a trunk of a mango tree nearby. Notwithstanding all hysteria, no instance of the robbery or assault by supernatural creatures has yet been registered. Locals also wonder that there is a mentally ill guy behind all this. Local people are avoiding the lockdown by attempting to capture the unknown creature, so there is a lockdown. And for this, a complaint has been filed at the police station. Another complaint was also filed against a man for causing panic in the area. Officials also said the police would increase patrols in the area. Maybe, they're locking down in India in these towns because they are.
They had military copters spray them and everything.
See, they're locking down there, and when some creatures going, where's all the people knocking on people's doors? Is this going to affect the paranormal? Is it going to affect the cryptozoology? I would think
the Geico commercial.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on. Speaking of that, I skipped an article. I'm sorry, Rob. I threw out Rob for a whole different ball game. So we'll go to number 4. Sorry, I'm really screwing with Rob tonight. He's got his technical difficulties, and I'm skipping articles. I forgot about this one. Astronauts' pee could help build a moon base. The urine of the first lunar settlers could be used as construction material to help new structures. With plans to send humans back to the moon in full swing, or at least they were before the coronavirus situation, scientists have been working on ways to construct habitable buildings on the lunar surface. Actually launching construction materials from the Earth all the way to the moon would be extremely expensive and inefficient, which is why a lot of focus has been on finding ways to use moon's own natural resources, especially water and regolith, whenever possible. Now researchers have identified another resource that should be available in copious quantities. Once the first humans arrive on the lunar surface, human urine. Why, they argue, it should be possible to create a type of plasticier or for construction purposes, I don't know what that is, to make it geopolymer concrete that will be used on the moon. The idea is use what is there, regolith, loose material from the moon's surface, man, I can't talk, and the water from ice present in some areas, said Raymond Pemis, a material scientist from the University of Cartagena. But moreover, with the study, we have seen that a waste product such as urine of the personnel who occupy the moon base could be also used. The two main components of this body fluid are water and urea, a molecule that allows hydrogen to bonds to be broken and therefore reduces viscosity of many aqueous mixtures. I am not a scientist. The researchers have been conducting tests to determine if the urine-infused building materials. Man, imagine your pee being used to build something you're living in on a base. That'd be a lot. You'd think they would need a lot of pee. It seems a little far-fetched. I mean, how many, you're gonna have to build it out of other stuff. People got to, come on, good pee in there. We got a lot of work to do.
Kind of strange.
Right. See, now I can tell it switched to your mic. You switched over to your computer mic. That's fine. I can hear you at least.
Yeah.
All right.
You hear me hitting?
Yeah, I even played our good luck song. We're having technical difficulties. It's all right. I wanted to lead in from the talking about the creatures knocking on the doors. I've missed the whole pee building in the moon, which later on in the show tonight, I got a moon video that you guys got to see UFOs on. Maybe the UFOs are starting to come out of the moon. They're like, humans are talking about building structures on our moon base with pee. I don't know. But I got this crazy UFO video.
UFOs going in and out of the moon.
Yeah, there's this new one that's been going viral. I'm trying to find out more information on it. We'll show it later tonight. But back to the cryptoid thing. I talked about Bigfoot's coming out, wondering where all the people are. This one comes from Unexplained Mysteries. Turkey Mountain Bigfoot caught on camera. This will be number 6, Rob. Oh. Sorry, I totally threw you off. Visitors to Turkey Mountain's urban wilderness area have been reporting sightings of a strange creature. In the posts of the region's official Facebook page, officials noted that they have received a number of reports from visitors who have described seeing a Bigfoot-like creature in the area. Over the weekend, we received dozens of calls and messages reporting a sighting at Turkey Post, or at Turkey, the Post reads, sorry. While we investigate the matter, there seems like a good time to us to remind you that the social distancing of 6 feet is required when at Turkey Mountain. Don't want to give it to Bigfoot, right? We talked about that last week. The wilderness, which covers over 300-acre area, undeveloped land in Tulsa, Oklahoma, has proven a popular destination for those looking to take a break from the monotony of isolating at home. Yeah, I don't recommend going out Bigfoot hunting right now. I really don't. Images of Bigfoot show a light brown bipedal ape, partially obscured by bushes and trees. You can, for the people listening, you see like this dirt road, and you see this kind of like Bigfoot, or I don't know if you can zoom in on that anymore. I only have the one picture for it. You can find it at Turkey Mountain Urban Wilderness Area on Facebook. They have their own Facebook page. Looks like Fuzz Bucket. I don't know. It's hard to tell how big it is. Doesn't look like it'd be very big, but it's hard to tell. But again, are Bigfoot's coming out because, they're like, wow, not that many humans going hunting this year, or not many humans out just walking around. The cities have gotten quiet. Is it going to pull out? The one in India, I mean, the creature, whatever it is, we don't know. They see a dark shadows thing knocking on doors. What is the coronavirus doing to the paranormal, especially in the cryptoid end? And I got to think some poor people, think about this. Some poor people have lived in a haunted house. They try to get out of a lot. Imagine being quarantined in a haunted house that isn't a nice haunted house right now. And you can't go anywhere. All right, let's move on to the last one here. Speaking, what'd you say, Rob?
He's out looking for beef jerky.
Well, Bigfoot should be aware. If he does see people, he needs to stay away, because this is what I say. Can Bigfoot get coronavirus? Well, animals can. More animals are they're finding their tigers at a zoo I saw recently, but this one really relates to Bigfoot. Gorillas may also be susceptible to coronavirus. Researchers have warned that COVID-19 may pose a serious risk to endangered gorilla population in Africa. Mountain gorillas, which now number around 1,000, are some of the most endangered primates on Earth, having long suffered from consequences of poaching, habitat destruction, and human encroachment on their territory in countries such as Rwanda and Uganda. Goes without saying, therefore, that the last thing they need is another threat to their survival. Unfortunately, it now appears as though the coronavirus, which has also already infected over 700,000 people worldwide, may also be capable of infecting mountain gorillas as well. Congo Virunga National Park, which is home to around 1/3 of the world's remaining mountain gorillas, has closed the area off to visitors in a bid to protect the animals from the virus. Officials cited advice from scientific experts indicating that the primates, including mountain gorillas, are likely to be susceptible to complications arising from COVID-19. Now, the tigers in the zoo, I read that article in New York, are displaying symptoms. I think they're going to be all right. But yeah, this is definitely closer to human. And what could the COVID-19 virus do? It could wipe them out completely. I mean, could be a good reason why there's not that many Bigfoots. They'd be close to us genetically, that they could get a disease and that might have been what wiped out many of the Bigfoots. Couldn't have been just humans. They might know to stay away from us because they've gotten diseases from us.
It's true.
And, survival to stay away from us is when I read this is what I thought of. But it's possible, and again, I'm so curious. The UFOs are coming out, Bigfoots are knocking on doors, or weird creatures are knocking on doors because of COVID-19. People are being probably going to notice much more weird stuff happening in their house if it's haunted, because they're locked inside. I always say, like, we get investigations this time of year more often, because they or not this time of year, but during the winter. Well, we're almost out of the winter, almost spring here. But people during the winter always have more, hey, my house is haunted. It's because they're stuck inside. They're noticing more stuff happening. Now everybody's stuck inside. So we might find out a lot of people are trapped in haunted houses. And I'm sorry, people shouldn't go investigating. I won't go investigate a house right now. I mean, no, not happening. Stay on lockdown. But there's going to be people that are like, wow, okay, yeah, this house is really weird. People that spend so much time going to work every day, they don't notice things, and now they're stuck at home. It's quiet, and weird stuff's happening. You can call in later in the show if that's happened to you in quarantine. After our second commercial break, we'll have the readings with Carole, but she'll leave after that half hour, and then we're going to open up the phone lines. You guys can call in, talk about whatever. If you want a spirit box session, hopefully if Rob gets his stuff fixed, we will do some spirit box stuff, or Jamie might on her end. We're praying Rob get his stuff fixed.
Perform a miracle during commercial break here.
That's what I'm praying. Pray for a miracle from Rob during the commercial break that he can get us fixed. Pray, because I was kind of dependent on that. But Jamie, you said you might be able to run some spirit box tonight, right?
Yeah,
Which I swear we got some really cool stuff when you do it, Jamie. I mean, we do when Rob does. I mean, we did last time we did spirit box on your Weird Wednesday show when I was on there with you. It was a couple weeks ago. Man, we had some crazy responses.
Got some awesome stuff.
Yeah, yeah, we haven't done any ITC shows. I didn't want to make this a whole IT show tonight. We'll save that for when we have a guest cancel. But this guest wanted to get her information out. We're going to talk about rising above the fear. And I don't know you, I have a lot of anxiety and fear about all this, especially more about the economics and financial, because I got furloughed from my job. So that's got me a little anxiety filled, worried. And it's an understatement. Really, it's a lot. Yeah, just a bit. So, this is our night. I want to keep it fun and happy, but if you want to talk, you need somebody to talk to about this, or you want to talk about anything weird, anything, the lines it'll be open lines. You want a spirit box session? You want me to read your tarot? Maybe I'll try. I can't promise much, because when I'm in this kind of frame of mind, the anxiety, I don't think I'm a good at being a medium. We'll ask Carole about that as well. And remember, we won't open up the phone lines till after the second commercial break. Oh, all right. Rob's getting off, hopefully to fix his stuff. We still got a couple minutes before we have to go to commercial break too. And I do want to say, you know, with what's going on, me being furloughed, I am still doing the show every Sunday night, but there could become a point, things go real bad, you know, I can't afford to do the show. That is possible. So whatever you can do to help out the show, there is a Patreon. You can help donate. $2 a month does help pay the bills for the show. I could greatly appreciate it right now, but I understand why other people don't have money right now. Totally understand. Because if you're like me, you're furloughed, locked at home, you know, unemployment, no unemployment. I understand it's hard to give anything out to help anybody else. So I totally get it. But if you feel like you can, we do have a Patreon, $2 a month. I'm gonna start adding new stuff to it since I'm stuck at home. To get it done. I'm also updating the radio network playlist. I've been working on that so we can get the new episode, more new episodes up on our radio playlists. If you're ever interested in listening, you're bored at home, we do have a paranormal radio internet link. If you haven't listened to the radio, well, if you go to it on Talkstream's paranormal radio app, you can listen there. You can listen at our website, mwpparanormalsoup.com. You can listen to either place. I recommend downloading the paranormal radio app. It's awesome. And you'll find Paranormal Soup there. You can listen to our 24/7 rerun cycle. It needs to be updated. That's what I'm working on now. So we're going to get some more new episodes. But if you missed hearing the show and you can't wait till next Sunday, you can go on there and listen. All right, guys, we're going to head into our commercial break. And then we're going to bring on our guest, spiritual medium, healer, and author, Carole Obley. We're going to talk about rising above the fear, which I think I need to hear this tonight because I'll admit I have definitely had a lot of anxiety and fear about what's going around in the world. All right, guys, we'll be back.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do voices from beyond the cold case files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Bring life to the dead. 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 Enter the occult world of necromancy. You were brought here for one purpose. Necromancy.
A ceremony dating back to the pre-Christian era. It's the art of reviving the dead. It requires involvement with evil spirits by the person performing the act.
The devil god brings life to the dead.
No, please. No, please.
And death to the living. Necromancy. Starring Orson Welles and Pamela Franklin. From Cinerama releasing. In color, rated PG, parental guidance suggested.
the international chart-topping Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest has been described as terrifyingly real, a must-read, shocking and chilling brilliance, genuinely worrying, utterly frightening. Don't read before bed. Described as one of the spookiest writers out there, best-selling author G.L. Davies presents Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest, the true paranormal account that is shocking the world. Dare you enter? Dare you read? Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, and wherever books are sold. Pray you never have to live there.
He is conducting an experiment into the combined effects of sensory deprivation and hallucinatory drugs. The subject of the experiment is himself, and the experiment is out of control. Ken Russell's Altered States, a film that must not be missed, is in the West End now. Altered States, Certificate X.
The night is alive. Join us and take a walk on the weird side when you tune in to the Kingdom of Nye, hosted by Heather Wade, the finest in late night talk. Listen live free weeknights starting at 9 p.m. Pacific time at thekingdomofnye.com, talkstreamlive.com, and the Paranormal Radio app. Wanna take a ride?
Do you like rock and roll? Do you enjoy a good story? Wish You Were Here, A Rock Fantasy, is a book inspired by Badfinger. It will not only entertain you, but intrigue you. What is it about? Well, Thomas is searching for his bandmate and friend in heaven, and in spirit has helped pen this story. He meets an old friend and famous new ones on his afterlife voyage. Midwest Book Review said, Wish You Were Here, A Rock Fantasy, is a book inspired by Badfinger. It's a quirky story by Joyce S. Isaacson and is unique, original, and deftly crafted metaphysical novel that showcases the author's genuine flair for character and narrative-driven entertainment that is simply riveting from first page to last. Wish You Were Here, A Rock Fantasy is now available on pennantpublication.com, Amazon.com in paperback and hardcover, and also on Kindle Unlimited. So check it out now. Wish You Were Here, A Rock Fantasy.
Switch to DCS ranging.
240, nominal to profile.
We're in the pipe. 5 by 5.
Tonight on Paranormal Soup, we have returning guest Carole Obley. Carole J. Obley has been the bridge between heaven and an earth in over 9,000 group and individual readings with startling clarity, specificity, and accuracy about people's loved ones in spirit, names, descriptions of loved ones, personalities, and uncanny, validating details about you and your family's lives, as well as grief support and teachings about the afterlife are typically delivered in her readings. Heartfelt and compassionate in her approach, Carole is also well known for her practical, down-to-earth guidance and insight into life issues such as relationships, career, and finance. Through her inspiring books, CDs, media work, seminars, and workshops, Carole has touched thousands, helping them to move through the grieving process more easily and, importantly, to open their hearts and minds to the divine within. After experiencing a session, many people comment on how much lighter and more connected they feel, renewed by the power and love, and comforted by the confirmation that death does not separate us from those we love. Carole's passionate intent is to use her talents to mirror the divine essence of others, thereby empowering them to reach for the stars of all avenues of their lives. because she adamantly believes that each person has the ability to connect with the voice of God within by accessing their intuition. Carole has created 3 levels of intuition development, which she teaches in a fun-filled, affordable weekend intensive. She loves to teach and share many of her easy-to-apply techniques that she personally utilizes to develop her own abilities as a medium. These workshops are taught in different locations throughout the year. Carole's author of 4 books. I read her books, I'm Still With You. She has another book that came out, Soul to Soul Connections, Embracing the Ties That Bind, Connecting with Spirit. And she has a new book coming out in August, Wisdoms of the Spirit World. You can also pre-order that now. Her website is www.soulvisions.net. That's visions with an S at the end. Definitely check it out. She was an excellent guest last time. She really had some really great readings in the short, only 3 minutes long, but she did a really great job last time we had her on, so I'm looking forward to that. We'll have you guys call in after our second commercial break. We'll open up the phone lines. Think before you call in, though, about what you want from the reading. Have your intent set. I always think that's a big one, but we'll get to that. So let's go ahead and get to our guest. Are you there, Carole?
I am.
Thank you for returning to the show. It was such a lovely time we had when you were on. You did an amazing job with the callers last time. I was really blown away. I love talking to you. And I think tonight's topic that you wanted to get into is really important right now. And I could use your guidance because I'll admit, I've been having a lot of anxiety and fear about the future. I try to not to give into it, but I've had a lot of problems. And I'm trying to get into meditation and try to get back to my spiritualness during this quarantine, but it's hard when your mind keeps racing to all what seems like could be really bad things down the road.
Yeah, fear is generated by our rational mind. And the problem, when it really becomes a problem, and we're seeing so much of this now, is that it escalates. And it's kind of like, it becomes intense, and it keeps spiraling, and then people go into a panic. And so one of the things, and I actually did a webinar about a week and a half ago on this. It was just an hour-long webinar to help people understand that they have within them the ability to transcend fear or rise above it. I don't think, at least at this point, or even in regular life, average life, certainly not when we're having, what's going on now. We all have that in common, where we can be a victim to fear. And one of the techniques, probably the most powerful technique that I've discovered, is what's called mindfulness. And what it is simply stilling and going above the rational mind into the eternal spot, the eternal place that is beyond any fear. And that's within our soul. And so it's really easy to do. A child can do this. It's very simple, and it can be done in a number of ways. I personally like the technique of focusing on my breath. And when you do that, what it does is really takes you out of that incessant stream of thinking.
That's my problem.
And you know how we get on that treadmill and then we can't get it stopped.
Right.
And that's what builds the fear. And interestingly, we're kind of hardwired for fear from our ancestors, because we have this part of the brain called the amygdala, and it's a small part of our brain, but it's very, very instinctual. And our ancestors had this for, to avoid danger.
Yeah, survival.
And those buttons get pushed, and the adrenaline starts pumping, and pretty soon we've worked ourselves into a lather and a panic. And so mindfulness doesn't in any way try to get rid of any thoughts. It simply it enables you to become the observer of them. So you kind of pull back from the thought of fear, and instead of identifying with it, and that's what really happens when people, become immersed in an emotion or, a primordial thing like fear. We identify with it and we actually take that on. It becomes our being. And what mindfulness does, it allows a space to develop between that thought and you. And that's where the PowerPoint is. Very useful technique.
It's kind of stepping outside of yourself in a way, stepping away from it in a way.
Yeah. What you're stepping away from is the rational mind, because that is where fear and thoughts, of course, fear arises from rational thought that there's some immediate danger. And so we're never going to get rid of fear. That's not the point of this. But the point of mindfulness is to notice different thoughts as they arise. And you can use the analogy in my new book that I heard you mention at the beginning, Wisdom from the Spirit World. I give examples of it there. And I personally had to really rely on this last year. I had a very difficult situation going on and very anxious, had a lot of anxiety and so forth. So I did an 8-week course on mindfulness, and it has really changed the fabric of my life. And what it really does, if you use the analogy of, say that you're outdoors and you're lying on your back in the grass, nice summer day, and you look up into the sky and there's clouds, and the clouds are drifting by. And if you think of those clouds as your thoughts, they're kind of passing through, they're not stationary, and they're on the move. And you can, as the observer lying on that grass, simply notice them. You're not going to ignore them. You're not going to deny that they're there, but you're not going to attach yourself to them. You're simply going to watch as they come and go. And that is the core principle of this thing called mindfulness. Now, you can also do it with some kind of a task. For example, very simple everyday tasks that all of us do, hopefully all of us do, like brushing your teeth. The program that I was in, they talked about really becoming aware of the sensations in your mouth, the taste, the feel of the toothbrush, the water when you rinse, really being in that. Because most of us, we get into those everyday tasks. We don't give them a second thought. We rush through them, just get them done. And what mindfulness teaches is to slow down and to be in the moment. And so it's very easy to practice. And for all of your listeners who are having anxiety or fear at this time, I would say most of us, I've even caught it in myself, certainly. And I'm very worried just about humanity in general with all of this. It would really, really benefit us to practice mindfulness. It doesn't cost anything. It's simple. It can be done at home. It can be done anywhere. Don't do it when you're driving, because usually you close your eyes. But even, if you're doing any sort of task, doing the dishes, really being in that moment, feeling the water on your hands, maybe feeling the cloth or the sponge that you're holding, and really getting into that, the whole sensation. Another one that's useful, and it's kind of cool actually, is to take a small piece of something like a raisin, or in the program I was in, it was a piece of chocolate, and practicing mindful eating. And it will actually slow down our eating so that we eat less. So this is something that I feel is really beneficial. And that's really why I wanted to talk about it with you this evening, because I'm hoping that there are some people that can really benefit from this. And don't be discouraged if you can only sit for a couple of minutes. If you're just doing a mindful meditation, focusing on your breath, following the breath into the body, and then as it exits. Don't be discouraged if it's just a couple of minutes. Practice it, several times a day, and pretty soon you'll start to see that you're able to calm down so that you're not going to be reacting. You're going to be going more into being instead of reacting.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do, is stop myself to reacting to it. I mean, my friends know, they haven't seen me too much on Facebook, on Messenger. I've been staying away from news and social media a lot because it feels like it just triggers me into that. I'm honest I'll be honest with my audience. I have panic attacks. I've had the hot sweats. I've had, worry, and it's not just worry about. I'm not, I am worried about my family getting COVID-19. I had a horrible dream a year ago that's now haunting me, where there was a plague in the dream, and I was literally, me and my oldest son were wrapping my wife up in a blanket and taking her through the house. And I woke up from that dream crying, cold sweats. That was more than a year ago. It might have been a couple of years ago. My wife remembers me telling her about it. And now we're both kind of panicked. I look at it as just a dream, that happened. But boy, it scares the hell out of me.
Yeah, well, Jason, I understand you because I've had panic attacks all my life, and they're very disabling. Very disabling.
They cripple
you.
I'm
sure you know. And what happens is when that adrenaline starts going, from fear, and sometimes we don't even know what button was pushed. In this case, with what's going on in society and, in the outside world, we do know what's pushed that. But if you're a person who all your life, like me, who has had panic attacks, even when I was a child, I can remember, especially in school, my hands getting very sweaty. I hated school. I did very well in it, but I long to be free and to be out of, the classroom and so forth, and to be in the outer world and explore nature and so forth. You probably do too, but panic attacks are very disabling. They're nothing to laugh at. I will tell you that mindfulness is really it's not a cure-all for panic attacks, but it is a very good complement to any other type of therapy like cognitive behavioral therapy or even antidepressants or anything that people are taking. Mindfulness is really a good companion to practice as well.
I've done when in my early 20s, I got into meditation, and I found it has helped me knowing it. But there's times when a panic attack hits you, like I'll have it I'll wake up in the morning and wake up with a panic attack.
Yes.
And it's hard. And I did it this morning. I only had a few hours of sleep. I was up all night with a 4-year-old with an upset tummy. And I only had a few hours of sleep.
Oh, wow.
And I had to get up out of bed because I was laying there, because it's like your mind is attacking you. That's what it feels like. It's attacking you with all that rational thought. My rational thought, like how we're going to pay the bills, what are we going to do? All that stuff coming, just raining down on me. And I know the meditation practice, and I have been using it at times, but sometimes it's really hard to reach in there and do it.
Yeah, it is. And I understand that completely. There's times when I'm so upset, and this happened just recently, but, being really upset about something that happened, and it's like your mind is just constantly pulling you in that direction. One of my favorite spiritual teachers, Eckhart Tolle, calls it the voice in the head. The voice in the head. And it really is. It's like a separate entity.
I like the monkey mind comparison.
Yeah. Yes. That's exactly what it is. And so, in fact, I just watched a video of Tolle's. It was very interesting because he's helping as much as he can in this time that we're going through. And he talks about the conscious mind, or the rational mind, actually gains its sense of power from those types of thoughts. So what you were saying, oh my gosh, financial ruin, pretty soon, here's what I mean by escalation. if you start on that train of thought, have you ever noticed that pretty soon you have yourself destitute on the street, living in a box or something?
It just goes to the worst place possible. Yes.
Absolutely. And that's what I mean by it builds and builds and builds. What mindfulness does, and breathing, focusing on breath. The other thing that people can do, and this may help you as well, is going into the body awareness. So in other words, you start, your mind starts racing. See if you can simply notice your hands and say, okay, how do I know my hands are there? I'm becoming aware of my hands. And so you feel and you become aware of that consciousness that's in your hands, your legs, your feet, the abdominal area, all of that. It's called, you can actually go up the body. That's a mindful meditation that I do occasionally. And what it does is it really puts the awareness into something that's present, which is the body. And that speaks to another issue with this whole thing. Anxiety is always based in the future.
Right.
So, for example, if we use your example of finances, I think a lot of people are very worried about that right now. That's always future-based. What mindfulness does is pulls us into the present moment. That's where our PowerPoint is. And one of the things Tolle says, and it's really true, he'll say, is there anything in this moment that's wrong? And so 99% of the time, we're going to say, no, there's, in this moment, there's nothing wrong. So anxiety is a construct of the rational mind. It's always geared towards the future. He also says anxiety is something that happens between now and then.
Exactly.
And it's true. So whenever problems and challenges arise, we have this anchor within us, which is the breath, and it is a place of stillness and peace. And it's always available. And even 3 minutes of doing that several times a day, and people now have that time, I think most people, even if they're working from home, we can take time to do that. This is really an opportunity. You can look at it and go, oh my gosh, what a huge catastrophic event this is right now. You can view it from that vantage point, or you can view it from a vantage point that it's an opportunity to awaken. So those two choices are always present with anytime there's a challenge. And if you're here on the physical plane, guaranteed you're going to have suffering, you're going to have challenges. If you choose the opportunity, that's where you can begin to see, okay, how can I evolve from this?
One of the things I kind of connect with that on too, that I've told myself over the years when I've had these panic attacks, anxiety, because it all comes from fearing the future. Is there anything at this moment right now I can do about it? Well, my fear with the future. Can I change anything right now at this moment? No, shut up. That's my inner voice talking to the monkey mind. Like, stop. I've done that. And it sometimes it just brings me to like a center to realize at this moment, there's nothing I can do. So what am I, why am I going to sit here and keep worrying about stuff I can't change any of the outcome of what I'm fearing might happen at this very moment. So what am I doing at this very moment? And it kind of brings me back to the now.
I'm glad that works for you. You know what happens?
A little bit,
to me
not the greatest.
When I do that, I worry that I have no control now. So it's kind of the opposite.
Nope, that happens.
For me.
No, that happens to me too, Carole. That happens to me too. And so I'm not saying my system works. It doesn't. It does sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. But it kind of brings me back to the better way of looking at it is the way you're talking. It's just to focus on the moment, to take your mind off of that object that is sitting in front of you, of the fear and all the different things that your mind's throwing at you, to convince you that all is doomed. It's hard. I'm bored. All my friends and family know I'm a worrywart. And Jamie and Rob are like, yeah, I'm a worrywart, and I've been trying. I feel like this is my opportunity to grow. Now, when you were on last time, we talked a little bit about past lives and that. You brought up you thought it could be possible that or you had a feeling that I was a past Atlantean. And I told you how I've always been obsessed with Atlantis and the lost civilization and that idea. And one of the things I've always wondered is I've had this fear of like the doomsday scenarios and all that stuff is like some of us from past life, we might carry over some past life stuff from this right now. Like if you were an Atlantean and you saw a fall of a civilization, somewhere in the back of your subconscious, this kind of stuff has got to give you some anxiety when it feels like civilization's kind of starting to crumble a little bit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a good point. But, interestingly, too, I am a student of astrology, and I've studied it for many, many, many years. We just had in January the two planets, Saturn and Pluto, that met. They conjuncted, meaning they were at the same degree in Capricorn, sign of Capricorn. The last time that happened, I believe, was during the Great Depression.
That makes sense.
So, I mean, you can look at the planets being symbolic of energies within the human being and universal energies as well. The big outer planets like Pluto and Neptune and Uranus, those are all, those are universal energies that can apply to a whole generation. But the point is, there's been, humankind has always undergone pandemics or catastrophic things. And yes, the Atlanteans, it depends on who you read. If you read Edgar Cayce, and that's the main person I've read on that. I know there's others. But he talks a lot about how there was such advancements then. There were lasers. There was the technical stuff. As a matter of fact, over my career, I've done a lot of readings for people. I recognize them as Atlanteans because clairvoyantly, I usually see a yellow triangle above their head. It's just a symbol that I get that tells me. So the thing of it is, they started reincarnating when Casey was actually doing his readings in the 20s and 30s, the Atlanteans coming back. So, and now there's a lot of them here too with the advances in technology and medicine. So, there was a big destruction of Atlantis because the technology was misused. I see somewhat that we can be heading down that direction with the misuse of the internet and
drones, robots, surveillance,
stealth, yes, and
social
stealth
media
things that most people, they don't even believe our own government has, which some of us know they do have.
Right.
But it's very, very dangerous because
that's what I feel.
The universe really doesn't care if the human race extinguishes itself. The universe is going to continue to expand.
Right.
And it's a consciousness. It really doesn't care about, humans. I think a lot of people have a misconception about what the universal mind really is. So, it's energy that can be used positively or negatively. So we're at this very pivotal point.
Right.
And this is a grand opportunity. And because everybody has the gift of free will, it's up to us to use that will in a way that's going to be supportive of life, supportive of the planet, and supportive of our spiritual evolution. So, this is really an important time.
And you said you told me you want to talk about rising above fear. I think that's where I was really happy you brought this up to want to talk about this tonight, because as a whole, as a nation right now, I worry about us giving into fear and giving away a lot of freedom. Now, I'm talking about lockdowns right now. I'm not talking about the lockdown and people stay home. Okay. I'm talking about the comparisons I see in the media. Look how fast China locked things down, blah, blah, blah. They were able to, because they don't have the same rules of us or whatever. And a lot of propaganda I see there for ideas of, and I'm not trying to get political. I'm not. I hate all politicians. I'm not a Republican or Democrat. I just see that we could go to this thing if we go down the path of fear with it, it could change society horribly.
Exactly. It already is. I see it on social media, and I, like you, have detached
right
a lot from social media, particularly Facebook. And I used to love to be on Facebook. Not anymore.
Not me either. Nope.
Not
nope.
anymore.
I can barely do it for like a minute or two, and I put it away. I even like kept my phone away from me at times, just because I don't want to even be tempted to look, because it'll bring up that anxiety. And it's my fear. What I see, problem, reaction, solution, the conspiracy theorists put out. I don't care if it's a conspiracy. I don't even want to get into the conspiracy theories. I'm like, none of them mean anything to me. All the conspiracy theories out, you can't prove nothing. It ain't going to change nothing. Who knows? Is it 5G? Is it this? I don't care, because none of that solves anything right now. None of that's really reality unless you can prove it to me. I don't care. I don't care about any of that. When I'm scared, what I see is the movement and change in society. What could happen, how we react to this out of fear, what stupid things we could do, what freedoms we give up just out of fear.
I agree. I think that is fundamental. It's more important than anything. And that's why, for me personally, the most important thing to do is detach from mainstream media, which fear mongers all the time, and also social media. And I can't even open up to get my emails without seeing information about it.
Oh, yeah. Same here. It's like, I always feared my mail because of financial problems. I always fear my mailbox. Now I have to fear my email box, because of what I'm going to get sent.
I know. So I think that the core, the solution is really, I see fear at the basis of a lot of this. And so we don't have to give way to it, though. We can use it to grow. It's like anything else in life. Any of us is going to have some sort of challenge at some point. You'd show me the person that doesn't have something terrible happen to them at some point in their life. Some people, a lot of terrible things. I don't think a human being is around that hasn't had that. So it's what we do with it. It's not what happens. It's what you do with it. And what we should do with it is evolve, learn, and grow. And there's also the need to really heal the division. And I know we're not getting into politics, but the terrible division that's been going on. I also see an opportunity here for really a deeper sense of unity with the entire human race.
Right.
Because, this is global.
We should be we're in this together, like it or not,
Exactly. So it's a grand opportunity in my lifetime, and I know I'm much older than you, but I can't think of anything that parallels this, and so it is an opportunity for us if we can awaken. And that's why I don't want to attach to things that promote fear or people's ramblings on social media, because anything that we take in becomes part of our consciousness. And it's really important, try to keep that as pure. Go about your work quietly, diligently, and, do mindfulness so that you stay in the moment. And pretty soon, we're going to see things slowly come back. I really believe it's going to be slow.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that it's slow.
Yeah, I know. I don't either. I don't either. My business is just as has been affected a lot as well. So everything is connected. That's the other lesson that we have to learn from this. That everything and everyone is connected. We can't isolate ourselves from anybody, not the rest of the world, not our neighbors, the planets, animals. We're all one.
Yeah, because it's a domino effect.
It is. It definitely is.
And what you said about comparing, on the show weeks ago when I talked about what we need to do with this coronavirus is that we need to come together like we did 9/11 in this country. and unify and drop all the politics, drop all that other stuff that doesn't solve anything, and come together. And that's the only way we defeat this.
Yeah, well, I think that is the spiritual lesson in this. Believe me, I don't presume to know the bottom of everything. And I don't think truly people understand, any of us, what karma we're going through until well after the event. And it's just been my experience that rarely do we understand the deep spiritual implications or karmic implications of an event until we're well beyond it.
Do you
and
think
it takes us that long?
Do you think something like this worldwide event is karmic for the human race?
I do. I truly do. It's if you look at it, I look at everything metaphysically, and that's just my orientation.
Me too.
Been that way since I've been born. What are we really doing? Well, let's look at it. Isn't everybody like on the extreme end of purification right now? I mean, Lysol, washing our hands, wearing masks, cleaning the houses, worrying about contamination. It's all about purification. Now, that's on a physical level. But I would say that symbolically, on a spiritual level, it's about purifying our spirits. Purifying, getting rid of the hatred, getting rid of the division, getting rid of jealousy, getting rid of undue competition. All of that are really lower vibratory energies if we're talking about, the spectrum of energies. So on a mass level, to me, it seems like we're at the point where are we going to get that message that what we're really to do here is purify ourselves, purify our own life and our relationships to others and to the planet, the planet.
If for family households, if there's any relationship problems, now's your time. You're going to have to work on it because you're isolated with each other. I saw an article about, what was it that they're having a rise in spousal abuse stuff.
Yes.
I even shared the Shining meme, of them like being isolated, alone, whatever. You see the characters from The Shining, Stephen King Shining, and that's one of my favorite movies. But it does, when people are stuck together, cabin fever, and some people start to go a little loopy.
Yeah, well, they were also talking about child abuse. And I mean, that is a terrifying thing to begin with. But when you are a child and you would feel that you can't even escape to school.
No, yeah.
I have the utmost compassion for that. And yes, for, domestic violence as well. So, and that's all that's all being brought up. Everything is being brought up for us to really look at. And it's interesting too, because if you look at it, okay, everybody's supposed to stay home. Generally, everything stops. We have no sports, we have no distractions, no concerts, no entertainment. So that inclines people to be a bit more introspective.
Right.
And so, that is very interesting to me as well. Are we going to take the opportunity? This is an opportunity. Instead of complaining and going, gee, oh man, I wanted to go to this concert. I wanted to go here or there.
I was supposed to be in Florida right now. We weren't going to be doing a show.
Or travel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is okay. I'm going to sit here and I've got to be in my house or in my yard. And so it's an opportunity to go within. In my personal opinion, people have become way, way, way too busy. And there's just a level of busyness until this hit that, I don't know, it just seems like incessant busyness to the point of insanity sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I didn't have time to call you. Okay, you didn't have time for 2 seconds to pick up a phone and call me, But how many times do we hear that, So I see a lot of spiritual opportunity here. It isn't pleasant, but we're a stubborn lot. I always say human beings are a stubborn lot. Unless our back is up against the wall, most people do not learn through pleasant times. They learn through hard, trying times.
Very true. That is so true. And right now, I look at it, for me, the thing I keep reminding myself of, and usually the anxiety hits me pretty much right after I put my kids to bed, because my kids, spending time with them right now, I have an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old. I look at it as like, well, at least I have this right now. I get to spend this time, because boy, everyday life, work week, them at school, that it's, I some nights I barely see them. Now I'm getting all the time in the world, and I'm truly, I'm trying to be mindful during those moments with them, and maybe I'm not always successful, but maybe I'm not always successful with them, but I've been trying to, we have been having family movie night, and I've been really enjoying that. It's the worst part is though, when it's like, okay, they got to go to bed. It's like they go to bed, and my wife goes to bed, and I can't go to sleep. And then that's when that hits me. So I'm trying to meditate at night. I know most people say in the morning, but for me, that's anxiety before I need to go to sleep. And it's hitting me when my rocks, which is my wife and my kids, their voices have gone quiet. The house has gone quiet, which part of me is like, yay, quiet house after all day of blah, 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 all over the house. But then that little voice, that little fear monkey jumping around in my brain. Yeah. That's when he gets his opportunity. Like, hello, I'm here. Let's talk about the future holds. We're doomed.
Yeah.
That's what comes
I
up.
like, I've seen those, that meme on Facebook that says, at 4 a.m. or something like that, your mind, you go through every single thing from, 30 years ago or something,
Right.
And I mean, that's what I do. And it's a common denominator among human beings. So I think people are really, their minds are working overtime right now. This is a great time to start a mindful meditation practice. It's so simple. And I would encourage people who are listening to please not be discouraged. If right off the bat you can't get it, it's okay. You don't have to be, have performance anxiety about meditating. You can just try it again. And each time that you do it, you focus on the breath. And even if you only do a minute or so, it's very helpful. There's a lot of good resources too on the internet. And they're brief meditations. They're maybe 10 minutes. They're not long, extended meditations. But I found them to be very, very useful. And you can actually feel yourself calming down. So it's going to get better. It definitely will get better. What we have is right now, though, and each moment is creating the getting better, right? So every moment that we have is an opportunity to practice being in that moment. That's the only thing that all of us have. From a king, a president, to a pauper on the street. We all have the present moment. And nobody has the past, no one has the future. You can't hold those in your hand. But you do have right now.
It's also an opportunity for people to be more kind to each other. That's what I say. Drop all the baggage you've had with somebody and find a way to reach out to somebody you've had baggage with, and just be kind to each other. This is a time I think people could use to, let go of past, fights, things like that, because we're in this together, family members, non-family members, and to learn compassion for others. I think it's a big one that we lose sometimes. You see the little keyboard warriors on social media that everybody's getting nasty with each other. This is a time to be kind to each other, not nasty.
I'll tell you what, I have noticed, and I've had some of that directed at me just from people I really don't even know that well. Just very unkind things. There's been a couple of those in the past week for me, and it really threw me for a loop. And I've noticed that people's anger is really intensifying as well.
Because they're afraid. Because fear leads to anger, which leads to hate. Star Wars reference there. Sorry, but it's the truth.
Yeah. Oh, that's from Star Wars?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
The dark side.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. Wow. Well, fear is really, another great spiritual text, and I don't sit down and try to read this all at one time, is A Course in Miracles. And it talks, there's only two things. There's only two energies. A Course in Miracles says one is fear, the other is love. That's it. That's it. And everything, it's either fear or it's love. Love not being like fluffy, romantic love.
No.
That's not what that means.
The compassion of being a human for
love,
others.
The love of spirit, the love of God. That's what it's referring to. So we have a choice. We have a choice. You can go deeper into unconsciousness, which is going to be those emotions like fear, anger, hatred, impatience, all those kind of things. Or you can go into seeing this as an opportunity and deeper into that still point within yourself, which is the God energy. And that's within every human being. That choice is up to us. Nobody's going to force us to go either way. But I would guarantee you will eliminate a lot of suffering for yourself if you choose to go deeper into yourself through stillness rather than going deeper into unconsciousness.
Now, on the spirit level world, are spirits, I mean, do you think people are starting to, the spirits are trying to reach out to us at this time more
Absolutely.
than they usually are?
I'll tell you a really cool story, and this goes more into spirit communication, which is what my specialty is. My mom passed about 16 years ago, and one of the signals that I've gotten from her is I get sort of this tingling on my right calf, my right leg, the calf area. Only time I get it when I feel my mother is near, which is, it doesn't happen that often anymore. So one night, not long ago, that happened, and I talked to her through telepathy. I said, Mom, we're going through a rough time here. I said, please pray for us. And my dad is still here. He's going to be 91. God bless him. So I asked for that. The next 2 hours, it was in the next 2 hours, I go into the bathroom. There's a window there. There are bushes by this window. I look out the window. This is within 2 hours of saying this prayer to my mom. There is a cardinal sitting, looking in at me in that bathroom window. Never seen a cardinal there before. I've lived here for almost 6 years. I've never seen it go into the underbrush like that.
Yeah.
It looked at me and then flew away. And that is my mom's symbol, is the cardinal.
We talked about
That's
that last
her other
time
symbol to
because that's my wife's symbol for her grandmother is the cardinal.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was so bizarre. And then the male flew, I believe that one might have been the female. They mate for life. They're not far apart, the cardinals, the male and female. But there was a bright red guy. I stepped outside today. Immediately, I hear him chirping. He flies right over my head. And I had prayed last night to my mom in spirit and my grandparents. All my grandparents are there, of course. And I said, we're going through a rough time. Please just keep praying. And then that happened again today. So I always thank spirit when those sorts of synchronicities happen, because it's a visible, tangible sign to me that spirit is very real and spirit knows what we need and they know what to send us when, and they're happy to do it.
The reason I asked is just recently I had one of those late nights where everybody's in bed and I'm still up. And I felt there should be no breeze through my living room. There's no windows open. I felt like a kind of a breeze of air. And my grandmother just, certain people have certain smells to you. That's how I relate. I smelled just for a few seconds that just a whiff. I don't know if it was my imagination. It smelled like my grandmother was when I was starting to have like that rational monkey mind brain panic attack. And that's why I wonder, is she coming to me to, tell me everything's going to be okay? I don't know. That's just what happened. So this would be a good time to try to connect with spirit like that.
I would say so, absolutely. Yeah. They know that if there's one thing I've learned in the thousands of readings I've done in 25 years of doing this work, it's that those in spirit know when we're upset, when we need them, when we're going through a time. Just like if your grandma was here, I'm sure she would comfort you or make you laugh or feed you something, whatever it was, her way of being there for you. It's the same thing with spirit. And when they're in spirit, they will come, and it might be a word, it might be a thought you get, it might be a clairvoyant energy, it might be a cool breeze like that. There's many different things. I call them calling cards, that kind of identify that particular spirit. And it's one of the things I teach when I teach people how to do this, and even just connecting with their own spirit guides. You can set up that kind of dialogue with them. For example, I'll tell you this real quickly. I had a spirit guide. When he would come around, I would smell Nag Champa incense. I love that smell. It's Indian incense.
Yeah.
And I would just it's called clairgustance, which means smelling or tasting through the spiritual senses. And he would come to me in that way. And I knew it was him. And, so there's different things. If somebody smoked, for example, I've had many clients that say, I always know when my dad's around, I smell cigarette smoke or, whatever it might be. And perfume or flowers or food, there's a lot of different ways that spirit will come. Sometimes when I'm doing readings, if somebody was a drinker, it doesn't happen real often, but sometimes I'll even get a taste of alcohol. And
See, I've had that
I
experience.
haven't drank.
I've had that exact experience. I had that exact experience when I was really young.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was in my 20s, and I walked into a house, was haunted by somebody who was an alcoholic. This is the one time I had like a pure, clear psychic information come to me. I knew their name, last name, and I could like taste the want. I was like, I could taste the alcohol. I could feel the want for alcohol. And that's always like, wow, I hope people don't, makes you wonder what addiction does to people on the other side.
Well, I will tell you that there is a phenomenon that if someone has not let go of an addiction, they look for vulnerabilities in people who are active addicts or alcoholics.
Right. I've always wondered that.
And they can actually extract the essence of that substance from the aura.
See, I've always thought that's possible. That's why I always felt like those kind of spirits hang around bars and stuff.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
There was a book, Jason. It's excellent, and I think you can even get it for free. I know it's crazy, but you can download it. It is a fantastic book. It's called A Wanderer in the Spirit Lands, and it's by an Italian fellow. It was actually channeled, but it's the story, and it's supposedly all true. And it's the story of it's kind of an average guy. He had a little bit of a drinking problem. He dies. He goes into the spirit world, and he experiences all these different levels of the spirit world, and he describes what they're like. And it's channeled through this gentleman who wrote this book. One of the things he says is about this phenomena of, spirits that can attach or be around people that are severe alcoholics, or I think even it can happen even if you're not
right,
a raging alcoholic. But that's personally one of the reasons I never go into bars. I have no reason.
It's
to
like
be
bad mojo. Drink. You can feel it. Especially some bars, you can really feel it. And I've always wondered if that's what it is. I know we got a little off topic, but it made me think of that. But tonight we're going to be going to commercial break here in about a few minutes. I wanted to, we want to make sure people know for the calls tonight, about 3 minutes long, correct? One specific question, no medical or legal advice. That's the stipulations we want.
Yeah, and please don't ask if there's, when this is going to be over. There is so much uncertainty right now. I don't think anybody who's doing my type of work can accurately predict that, because there's so many variables. And sometimes people don't understand that when there's so many variables like that. That's why I won't read for court cases either, because there's too many wills involved there.
The future's always in motion. Another Star Wars reference.
It is.
But that's how I've always looked at it.
The application of will is what determines the future. So.
Right. Now, should the one specific question, any advice for people before they call in, how they should, should they focus on, what they want or?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in 3 minutes, there's not a whole lot that I can do. It's very, very different than a private reading with me on the phone, which I do a lot of. Almost all my private readings are done by telephone with great accuracy. But really send love to, if you want to hear from somebody in spirit, send love to them, ask them to connect with my mind, because that's the only way that's going to happen. If they impress their thoughts on me, and then I can verbalize that. And don't ask open-ended questions like, tell me about my future. I mean, that's just way too.
The future is always in motion. We'll repeat that again. Things can change. I mean,
yeah. Well, I don't mind saying, like, with a specific question about what's likely to happen, but I've done many, many years of radio, and people will come on sometimes and they'll say, "Can you tell me about my future?" I mean, that that's just too open-ended. So we need to be short and specific, no medical or no legal.
It makes sense to me. All right. Well, we're going to go to our commercial break here, and then we're going to open up the phone lines, people. Rob's got them up there. There's only 2 phone lines open, 219-230-4444 or Skype ID OOJBland00. Wait to call in after we come back from a commercial break, and we'll be back with our guest, Carole Obley, spiritual medium, healer, and author. You can check out her website at www.soulvisions.net. All right, guys, we'll be back after this short commercial break.
When Alex Gardner is asleep, he has an extraordinary gift. The government wants it, the scientists want it, but to keep it may cost him his life. It might be better if Alex didn't sleep at all, but he cannot resist entering the dreamscape. Can you? See Dreamscape in the West End and all over London now. Certificate 15. It takes an extraordinary adventurer to enter the Dreamscape.
Do you wish for more paranormal and spiritual content? The Paranormal Chronicles magazine is a free digital magazine crammed with the very best in paranormal and spiritual articles and features. No sign-up, no subscription, just free reading and knowledge for you. Read today at www.paranormalchronicles.com/magazine.
This is an APAC studio presentation.
Hi, I'm Barry, owner-operator of Barry's Barometer Barn. Lately, I bet you've been lying awake at night asking yourself, how many barometers do I really need? Well, at Barry's Barometer Barn, we think you need more than one. Otherwise, we're going to go out of business. Remember, at Barry's Barometer Barn, we don't know the meaning of high-pressure sales. Come on, folks, buy another barometer. I'm trying to put my kids through college. I've got a family to support and a secret mistress who isn't cheap.
Visit Barry's Barometer Barn, 000 Storm Drive. Come on, folks, buy a barometer. I'm Barry's older brother, Larry, and every time one of you people walk past the store without coming in, Barry beats me.
This has been a presentation from Tim Morgan's APAC Studio. For more almost professional amateur comic studio content, visit the APAC YouTube channel. Search APAC 2002. That's APAC 2002 on YouTube.
Paranation Magazine is a new paranormal magazine based out of Denver, Colorado. Our goal isn't just to give you the best paranormal content out there, but to promote paranormal unity. We're doing this by giving everyone an opportunity to tell their stories and to share their experiences. For more information, follow us on Facebook at Paranation Magazine and soon, paranationmag.com.
For every Earthling who's ever dreamed of adventures beyond the stars comes the astonishing story of one who made it, Alex Rogan.
You have been recruited by the Startling to defend the frontier against Sur and the Kodan Armada.
Of all the life forms in all the galaxies, one has been chosen to be the last starfighter. The Last Starfighter, with the film of the #1 hit Do They Know It's Christmas, the official Band-Aid story. In the West End and across London now, rated PG.
The night is alive. Join us and take a walk on the weird side when you tune in to the Kingdom of Nye, hosted by Heather Wade, the finest in late night talk. Listen live free weeknights starting at 9 p.m. Pacific time at thekingdomofnye.com, talkstreamlive.com, and the Paranormal Radio app. Wanna take a ride?
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do voices from beyond the cold case files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from Talkstream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Drugs are bad, okay? That was the wrong clip. Tonight's guest, Carole Obley. I just played the wrong clip. Sorry about that. Usually I have a really cool intro clip, and drugs are bad. Okay. We're not talking about drugs tonight. Right? I was like, wow, totally missed that. We're talking with our returning guest, Carole Obley. She's a spiritual medium, healer, and author of I'm Still With You, Soul to Soul Connections, Embracing the Ties That Bind. And her newest book is Wisdoms from the Spirit World, coming out in August. You can pre-order now. Her website, soulvision.net. We're going to have you call in now. We got somebody waiting on the line already. We only have the 2 phone lines tonight that you can call in. It's 219-230-4444. 219-230-4444, or you can call in at Skype ID OOJBland00. Now, if you call in and I hang up on you, it's because I only got the 1 phone line, really. Just try calling back after you hear somebody get off. If you do call in and you hear us talking, wait till we call on you. Again, have one specific question for Carole. No medical or legal advice questions. It's about approximately 3 minutes. So, it's not like what her full readings are. This just is a little reading, but she did this last time and she blew me away. So let's go ahead and get back to the show. You still there with me, Carole?
I am.
All right. So we got somebody waiting on the line here at 601 area code. Who do we got?
Hi, Jason. It's Debbie.
Hey, Debbie. Thanks for calling in.
Great. Thank you and Carol for taking my call.
Yeah. Hi, Debbie.
Hi.
What's up?
I got a real quick question. I don't know if you believe in soulmates or not. I thought I found mine in 2014. I fell desperately in love, and then he broke my heart. And I've been alone ever since. And I'm not a young, beautiful woman, but I just wanted to know. I've been, just going to social media, obviously distancing. I'm not meeting anybody. Is this what I need to pursue, or am I just going to be alone for the rest of my life?
No, I don't feel that. What I do feel is that person, as much as you felt, I'm talking about the ex, as much as you felt that you might have been on the same wavelength, he was not ready for that depth, if that makes sense to you, that you were. And I feel, we were talking about fear earlier, I feel that there was some fear coming up for him with the depth of that commitment. Has nothing to do with you. I do feel that you will meet somebody. It seems to be somebody who will be a very good friend or on a friendship level, but it has the potential to really develop into a more solid companionship. So, and I always say it's great to start out as friends, but I do feel later on this year and into early next year, you will really want to start opening yourself up again and get rid of those old thoughts. Your spirit guides are saying there's some really old stuff churning around in you that, you're not good enough. And you even said, well, I'm not a young, beautiful woman or whatever. So we got to get rid of that as far as your own thoughts, because what we think we end up attracting. So think kindly of yourself, and you got to think on this level, who wouldn't want to be involved with me or be friends with me?
Okay. Well, that's great. That makes me feel so much better. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you, Debbie.
Bye-bye.
Now, again, guys, you can call in at 219-230-4444, Skype ID OOJBland00. I had two people trying to call in. Now, so you hear somebody hang up, now you call in. That's so hopefully we get another call here. I, too, was wondering at this time, people, is this a time to develop, I would think this would be a great time for people to develop their own psychic abilities. Besides, the mindfulness and all that, it'd be a time to, learn new avenues, if you're interested in that.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And in fact, right now I'm teaching a 6-part module on mediumship development, and I'm probably going to be offering that again in the fall. It's through the Zoom platform, and it really, I love to teach as well as do readings, so it's going very well. And the main thing you want to do with psychic development is you got to develop your spirituality. You got to understand you're more than a mind, you're more than a body, and that comes from the higher sense perception, and that's always connected to your soul.
We do have somebody waiting on the Skype line. We got Zach. How you doing tonight, Zach?
I'm doing pretty good, brother. How are you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, Carole. Thank you for taking my call. My question is, for my side business, I had to close it yesterday due to COVID-19. Does Spirit recommend that maybe I start seeking maybe a part-time job on the side to earn some extra income?
I'm inclined that your guides are making me feel no, because you're going to be able to resume. Don't push the panic button with that right now. I don't think you need to go in that direction, not by what they're showing me. What do you do with computers or technology?
My day job, I'm a manager for a delivery company.
Okay. Do you do anything in which you're using the computer a lot? You're using data a lot?
All the time.
Okay. I would put you in that direction You seem to have a very, very keen mind as far as that sort of thing. And actually, I'm being shown that there's a probability that you will do something with your own business a little bit further down the road. Has that ever crossed your mind? With having
It has,
your own, like
and
a larger type of thing.
it has, and we're less than 2 years old on that one, but that's definitely a direction that I want to go.
Yeah, well, with your willpower and your intelligence, and you're a highly dependable individual, highly dependable and responsible. So I think you would be a good administrator of your own business. And actually, what they're showing me is that there would be a partnership. So another guy involved with that business. And it looks like you have two different skill sets so that you complement one another. You bring one end of it and he brings another, and you combine, and there's a business that's built.
Well, I'm already in a business partnership already with 3 other people on that one, so we'll definitely see where it goes for sure.
Yeah, well, I think there's going to be a reinvention in some way, a transformation. This is a huge time for transformative energies for everybody. And so it's really where we can get down to brass tacks and say, you know what, this is really what I want to be doing. And you do have the capabilities. I feel like you came into life from past lives with the capability to do something with improving people's lives and also managing. You have good managerial skills. So I would really say that that's a good probability for you once we're through all of this. And it's not going to be that far out. I'm seeing something really come together for you in September.
I'll be on the lookout for that. Carole, thank you so much for answering my question. I greatly appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Zach. You have a great night. Thanks for calling in. The phone line's blowing up. All right, bud. You have a good one.
You
Stay
too,
safe,
brother. You too, man. Bye-bye.
Yeah, people calling in. If I hang up on you, it's because I have other people on the line. I only have the one phone line because we got Carole on the other. So just hang in there. We got Mike on the line. How you do tonight, Mike?
Good. I'm glad I was able to ask her. How you doing there, Carolyn?
Oh, hi, Mike. Good. What's up?
Yeah. Hey, what about, we know that we've been trying to figure out why we're here, like where we came from, why we're here. We know we're here for some reason, but we can't get into the subconscious, in order to, but it bugs us like the whole life, all your whole life, but then, maybe after this life, then it'll come to us, you know what I mean? But it like kind of bugs.
For time's sake, Mike, though, one specific question you want for a reading from Carole.
Yeah. How can we figure out again, like I just said, why we're here and where we're from?
Okay. I think what you're speaking to is something that in my new book, Wisdom from the Spirit World, I talk a lot about these things called the Akashic Files or the Book of Life. Those are sort of plans. I'm putting that word in quotes. They're sort of plans that the soul outlines or, puts into its consciousness before being born or coming into physical incarnation. I would tell you a clue to what the life's karma, purpose, lessons are. Look at where your greatest challenges have been. Look at your greatest breakthroughs, triumphs, what relationships have brought up for you. I mean, this really requires some thoughtfulness, but if you really look at sometimes even what has been your greatest problems, where have you suffered the most? A lot of times we choose those things to evolve through the earth plane experience to get a greater clarity on them, and the soul needs to express those particular qualities. So it's not an easy thing. Karma is extremely complex. There's a lot of depth and layers to it. But I have found that if you take the time to do that, I usually suggest to people that that's exactly what your soul planned, where your greatest challenges are. That doesn't mean that pleasurable things or joyful things aren't part of it too. But the real growth comes through those challenges. And I think that's what you were asking. I hope that's what you were asking.
Yeah, you sort of hope that you don't have to wait until you pass away to find this out. You know, oh yeah, that's what it was. You know what I mean? Oh shoot, I could have done this better.
Exactly.
You know?
But most people don't take the time to do that level of introspection. You sound like a thoughtful person to me, that you would, do that. And so I would tell you to just take some time and look at that, and it will shed some clarity or give you more light about what you're going through this time. Rarely, as I said to Jason earlier, rarely do we understand the true depth of spiritual growth and evolution and karma while we're going through it. It really takes time to assimilate. Some stuff we never know till we cross back over into spirit. You've heard about the life review. Well, we really do get that life review, and we see how well we did with a particular lesson. And do we need more experience with it, perhaps in between lives? Do we need to come back here again and do another level of it?
Well, Mike, you got plenty of time for introspection now. Plenty.
Thanks a lot. I don't want to bug Jason here. So, that's it. So it bugs you though, because it's a lifelong thing, and it's just you know what I mean. You wonder sometimes you're not you're not like your parents. You're not like anything. You know what I mean. You just are what you are, and then it's just.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And there's purpose.
I know exactly.
Purpose. Right. There's purpose, and it's happening, right? And it's gonna complete itself, but it's. In the meantime, you're just it's bugging you the whole time.
You're along for the ride, Mike. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I
take the ticket. You're taking the ride.
One other suggestion for Mike: study astrology, and I'll tell you what. And I'm not talking about newspaper astrology, not that silly stuff. I mean really authentic astrology. And there's a wealth of resources you can do for free online. But I've been studying it for about. In depth, probably about 15 years now, and I think I've only scratched the surface. But if you study your own birth chart, it tells you right there in the birth chart what the specific challenges are, and it gives you clues to past lives, and it tells you where you're likely to meet, where you have to exert a lot of your focus, of your life force energy, to break through old patterns. And if you study your own chart, it's very, very helpful to do that.
All right, well, thank you, Mike, for calling in, bud. And stay safe out there.
You too. Thank you.
219-230-4444. Are you calling on Skype ID OOJBland00? I think last time you were on, Carole, you gave out a website for that. I think we went and checked it out, didn't we, Jamie? It was, what is Cafe Astrology, or what was it?
Oh, yes, that is cafeastrology.com. It's excellent. And they have just for the beginner on there, and then they have for people who are advanced. And you can pull up your chart. You can, enter your birth data. You really should have the exact time.
Right.
And because it's much more accurate. If you don't have exact time, you can get it from your, your place where the county you were,
or call mom,
the area. Yeah, I mean, you probably have to pay for it, but it's well worth it.
My mom's asleep by now, but when she listens back to the show, I need my birth time, because that's why I keep forgetting to do that, because I went and checked it out. I'm like, I don't know my birth time. I know my mom probably knows. We got another caller on the line, 386 area code. Who do we got?
Hi, Jason. This is Debbie Schmoley.
Hey, Debbie Schmoley. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for calling in.
Hi, Carole.
Hi, Debbie. What's up?
My question is, I know what my my gifts are, my spiritual gifts, but I'm still kind of at a loss, and I've been doing a lot of introspection on it. But I'm at a loss at how to put it together and use it for service for others, but also a way for me to make money in the future with it. And I was wondering if you could just get me any information that Spirit has for me regarding what I need to do, what kind of direction I should move into, or what I need to do to move forward in that area.
There were several lifetimes with you that I'm aware of that you were engaged in healing work. I don't know if you've ever been drawn to that, if you do anything with Reiki or hands-on healing, or ever worked in medical, but I really, really feel that very strongly with you. I'm seeing the Akashic, your spirit guides have opened it. There were many lifetimes you were involved in some way with healing. And there was sort of this real need to reach out and particularly with children, I feel, and also animals. So I would point you in that direction. There was also a lifetime with you in which you did something with herbology or working with plants, plant spirit medicine. So there's really, really a drive for you to reuse. It'll simply be a remembering of that knowledge.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
If
you.
you're
Yes,
interested in
that
a
all
more
resonates.
in-depth, if you're interested in more in-depth and comprehensive, please call me to set up even a half-hour session, because I know that there could be a lot of info for you. I'm not trying to just say that, but I mean, really, it's almost like you've opened up the can of worms with, a cascade of a lot of information here that I'm aware of.
Yes. So, I'm aware of some of it, and I have had like past life memories of like being persecuted because I was doing herbal healing and being accused of like being a witch and being persecuted for that. But also, like, I came into like healing energy balls and sending healing energy before I even heard of Reiki. I came into that just on my own, in my own knowledge, and so it's something that I'm very drawn to. And also, one of the first courses I took when I developed my spirituality was crystal Reiki. I was just drawn to that, so I know that everything that you said resonates with me. So I definitely look into giving you a call, Carole.
Good. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And for people to find you, to contact you, they can do that on your website, soulvisions.net.
Yeah. Yeah, my home office number is on my website, and your callers are very spiritually inclined.
I'm very proud of my chat room, and the viewers. They're all. That's why I do the show. It gives an open forum to people to not be afraid to be open to this stuff and talk about it. Because you try talking to people that you know in your everyday lives, they're just like look at you like you're weird. That's why I do this show. So that's why I love my audience. Speaking of my audience, we want to fit another phone call in here. We got 412 area code. Who do we got?
Joyce.
Hey, Joyce. Thanks for calling in.
You're welcome.
And what's your question for
Carole?
This may
My
be somebody
question
I
is-
know. I think I recognize the area code. Yeah, that's a Pittsburgh area code.
Yeah, we know each other, Carole. My question for you is, will my business reopen?
Yes, and there may be a little bit of reshuffling with some customers, but yet you have put so much into it that you are not going to fail. So, and the other thing I feel with you, and I'm not quite sure who I am talking with, so this is good, because if I have conscious knowledge, it screws up a reading. I really do feel with you that you're actually going to come out ahead. It seems very paradoxical right now, but there are certain people that if they've done the legwork, if they've laid the foundation, they are going to be just fine. And I feel that you're probably one of those.
Marvelous. Thank you. Really needed to hear that. I appreciate it. And
What's
I'm
the nature
enjoying
of the
listening to
business?
this little podcast here, or whatever you want to call it.
Hey, Joyce, what's the nature of the business you do?
It's a metaphysical gift shop.
Oh, hi, Joyce. I do know who she is now. Yeah. Good to talk with you. Good to talk with you.
Yeah, you too. You too.
You are very
I've been trying to promote your stuff.
Oh, thank you so much. You were very determined.
You're
I actually
welcome.
did, just so Jason knows, I actually did a message program at Joyce's establishment, and some really good people. And she is well known in the community, and so that's how I'm confident in saying what I'm saying. I didn't know who I was talking to though when I gave that information. So.
Well, Joyce, you might have a lot more business because people are doing all this introspection, start looking at more spiritual things, might just start walking through your door that never did before.
Right. I'm hoping.
Well, thank you for calling in, Joyce.
Thank you, Joyce.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah, I hear you. I worry about my own job hopefully opening back up after this is all over. As I hear some of the people's fears, you hear the fear a little bit. Everybody's, worried. But it's interesting to see how you pick up on things with people. And
what's the nature? What do you do?
I'm a retail manager.
Okay. And so are you able to work from home or no?
No, I just got furloughed.
Okay. So you can get unemployment and
right.
so forth. Yeah, I really feel that the vast majority of people, I think, are going to be okay. It's just certain areas, and I mean, New York City has been badly hit, and some of the other larger cities. I haven't heard anything about Chicago. I guess LA was fairly hit, but I think right now, again, we're in that panic mode. It's just so, and it came on us so quickly. That's the other thing. It was just like boom, you gotta shut down and so forth. But I'm feeling that you're going to be okay, and you're a heck of a worker. I mean, I really see you as being a very hard worker, and there may even be a promotion for you in the works. So when this is all done.
Oh, I wish, but I don't know. I'm trying to use this time too to look introspectively. Like, do I want to stay on the career path that I'm doing, or in the future look to do something else? I've had that thoughts before all this went down, and now it's a lot of introspective about that.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people are re-examining priorities.
Right.
I mean, really, that's the other thing we didn't even talk about, but yeah, a lot of priorities are being rearranged right now. I liked when you talked about your children, because
that's my priority.
Really, children are priorities, our families, our spouses, all of that. Yeah. And really too, the other thing I didn't mention, the planet Uranus, which is called the Great Awakener. That's the name of it in astrology. They call it the Great Awakener. Is in the sign of Taurus right now, and it usually takes about 7 years to go through a sign. Taurus is associated with food, and so and anything that's a tangible good is Taurian. And so you saw this, the big toilet paper shortage. And what's toilet paper made from? Well, you probably usually from trees, right?
Right.
So it's all about this earth consciousness as well. And Uranus's job is to shake us up and to get us to wake up. And so I think the coincidence of this, the coincidence of this, with also, the awakenings we're having about the earth, taking care of the earth, it's all related. So yeah, we have to look at, this is the only home we have. This is our home, and we have to take care of her. So I think everybody's re-examining priorities right now.
Well,
I could see you doing a number of different things. I think you're multi-talented. I feel that there's also a book in your future.
Yeah, Gavin would like to hear that. He's trying to get me to write a book for a while.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I really believe that you will, and it looks like it's going to be based on all your experiences, kind of from this show.
Yeah, and that's kind of along the lines of what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, just writing it. Just getting to writing it. Now I got time, right?
You definitely have time. I would tell you to start with an outline.
Yeah.
But that makes it a lot easier.
I've been thinking about it. I definitely, it's been on my mind because of, like now's the time. I always complain I don't have time to write. Now I got time. Now we all got time. Let's all write a book, right? I don't know. I've thought about it. I always feel like when I start talking, I've had a lot of weird experiences throughout my life, from my earliest memories. But when I get down to it, I start thinking like, yeah, but I think a lot of other people have. What makes me special? Who cares about what I have to say? All that self-doubt that comes in.
Well, I can tell you that, yeah, I mean, don't quit your day job when you write a book.
Right?
Don't quit your day job. It definitely it won't put food on the table, usually, unless you have a big national platform. But, I'm very pleased with what I'm Still With You, my second book did. When I was writing that book, I had no clue whether it was going to get published. I had no publisher in mind. I went through a year of rejections, and that's the other thing. It's like trying to break into the entertainment field.
Right.
It's extremely competitive, and it's even more difficult than when I first started trying to get in. Now it's so you really have to say something in a unique way, even if it's a well-worn topic. But I'm confident you can do that. I could really see you doing that.
That's where my thoughts are, is like, how do I do it in a unique way? So, all right, I'll take that to heart. Well, Carole, I want to thank you so much for being on the show tonight. You're definitely going to have you on again. Because,
yes,
even in just 3 minutes, you blow me away with your readings with people. So I definitely love to have you back on again.
My pleasure. And thank you so much for having me. I've really enjoyed all of our conversation.
And then remind people.
Hopefully people understand that there is a choice, and we don't have to fear. Take the time, be in the moment, and just live and enjoy the things at home and your family and your kids, and the ability to slow down a little bit. That's a great asset right there, is the ability to slow down a little bit.
Yeah. Now you got the time.
Yes.
Well, remind people too, you got your book coming out in August, Wisdom from the Spirit World. You said they can pre-order it now.
They can pre-order now on Amazon, and I don't know if Kindle is available for pre-ordering as well. It probably is. But you'll just type in Wisdom from the Spirit World and my name, and it'll bring up the pre-order.
And then definitely check out our website, people, www.soulvisions.net. That's where they can connect with you for readings as well.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Carole. Again, truly lovely to have you on, and we'll definitely have to do this again soon.
Okay. Take care, Jason.
Bye. Oops, then I hit it too soon. Well, let me make sure I get my phone lines open here. The other phone lines. So now we have all the phone lines open. Now it's open lines. Sometimes I have guests, they only do the hour and a half, because, we are a long show and time does go by fast, but sometimes not fast enough. Some people it's late. So Rob, let's check with Rob first. Let's see what Rob's got going on, because he was kind of dependent on ITC a little bit on him too. And we got Jamie who can do it.
Man. I got all
hear
kinds
you.
of crap going on. You can hear me. That's a good sign.
I can hear you. That's a great sign.
Let's see if you can hear the ghost box.
Give it a little test, but I want to play something really quick before we do. Oh yeah. I'll hear it loud and clear.
Okay, cool.
We're rock and rolling. Okay.
A miracle has happened.
A miracle has happened. The phone lines are open. You can call in now to get in line to call. All the phone lines are open. 219-230-4444, 260-225-9419, or you can call in Skype ID OOJBland or JBland Paranormal Soup. I got somebody already on hold there. Just wait on hold. We're going to get you. We're going to open up the spirit box. But I talked about the build of the P moon base, using P to build it and what aliens are going to do. I want to know if anybody can help me out with this one. This video has been going around quite viral. Now, Rob, it should be down. It's a UFO moon or moon UFOs. See if you can find that video, because this is really crazy. Supposedly an astronomer got this, but I can't find any articles or the source or that. But I've seen so many people sharing this, and I don't know if this is fake or what. I can't tell you. I'm not an expert. But yeah, see if Rob can pull this up. I just found this last night, but I've seen so many people share it since then. Like I said, I don't know where this was taken. I'm trying to find the provenance of this video, because it's really, me and my fascination with the moon. But yeah, it should be in the Dropbox, Rob, under moon UFO or something like that, or UFO moons.
Okay.
And we got somebody holding at 416 area code. Just hold on there. We're going to get you in just a sec. I wanted to include it in the World Wide Web of Weird, this video, but I like to have an article or something to read about where its source was, but I kind of wanted to share it tonight because I'm, been interested. Let me see here. Let's bring up the share screen. Yeah, this is it. See if you can balloon it up too. There's the regular video, and then the person, they zoom in on it. So it might be hard to see in the original video. See if you can, blow that up. Now there's going to be like just over the horizon of the moon here, you'll see some white dots. When it zooms in, you really see it.
Oh, yeah. Right in there.
Yeah. That's really hard for people to see at the moment, but when it zooms in, just wait. Because, man, you see the shadows on the moon of this. Like first, there it goes kind of across. You see them? Now wait till you see the zoom in on this.
Oh, wow.
Here's the zoom in. Now watch this.
Are they behind it or going in it?
They're going over it. Watch. See the shadow? See the shadow on the moon from the ship crossing over it?
Oh, my gosh.
So anybody know the provenance of this? You can email me at paranormalsoupjblandgmail@gmail.com. If you find an article on this, I'm just trying to find out where it came from. I've been seeing people sharing this all over.
That's
really
amazing.
Interested to know more about that. Yeah, who caught that? Is this real? I don't know. Is it shenanigans? Because it looks pretty incredible. I don't know if it's shenanigans or not.
Pretty good shenanigans.
Look at the way the shadow just spread, though. Like, you know what I mean? That looks pretty good if it was a shenanigan.
I know. I don't know what this is. I've been trying to find out. Bill puts up it's CGI. I don't know if it's CGI. I don't know if this is the real deal or not, but it's been going around, and I just want more info. Who put it up? Where'd it come from? I can't find an article on it.
Yeah, you'd think that.
I don't know. It's weird. All right, but
there are CAD program things that can like.
Oh yeah,
replicate the shadow like that, but
yeah. But it's interesting. Yeah. Would have had in the World Wide Web of Weird, but like I said, I can't find an article. So anybody does, like I said, Paranormal Soup, JBland, JBLAND @gmail.com. Email me with the article if you find one on it. That's what I've been trying to do. I've just been seeing people sharing the video on Facebook. Now we do got somebody on the line. We got 416 area code. Who do we got?
Nikki.
Hey, Nikki. Thanks for calling in.
Hi. This is my second time calling.
Oh, thank you.
Episode 206.
Well, we got.
Yes, so many weeks ago.
We got spirit boxes we're gonna do. Are you calling in for a spirit box tonight?
Yeah.
All right. So Rob's going to run that. Now, I always say when you call them for spirit box, have an intent, or if you have somebody you want to try to communicate with, think about them strongly, focus. But I want you to call out to him once he gets it running, because I swear they respond better if you're talking to him than me or Rob.
Oh my God. I don't know if I can do that.
Well, are you trying to reach out to anybody particular, Nikki?
Just my dad.
Your dad? All right. We'll call out to him.
Oh my God. I can hear it on the radio too.
Oh yeah, make sure you mute your the radio, our radio. We don't want playback.
Yeah.
Is Nikki's dad there?
Original.
Sound like hi. Nikki?
Yeah.
Nikki.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Nikki here.
That's weird.
Is Nikki's dad here? Said I'm listening.
Oh, yeah. That's what I thought I heard. Can Nikki's dad say his name for verification?
Cutting through.
Heard crown. Bob? No.
Bombs.
If this is really Nikki's dad talking, can you tell us your name for validation?
She.
Go ahead, Nikki.
I can't hear what he said.
Well, a lot of times we catch
was
stuff in the
Philip.
playback. That's mainly we catch it in the playback.
Oh,
Here.
okay.
Please.
Please. Oh, my God.
See us, please.
Do you have a validation question you could ask your dad?
I don't think I want to do this. Thanks.
Oh, okay. It's all right, Nikki. Well, Nikki's gone.
Okay.
Sometimes it spooks people out. Don't get spooked out. But the phone line's open. 219-230-4444. 260-9. Don't get spooked out. 260-225-9419. And Skype IDs 00 JBland 00 or JBland Paranormal Soup. You can call in, see if the spirits will talk to you. So spirits, I saw the UFOs on the moon. Yes.
Ferocity.
Still waiting for aliens to come through on this thing. Is there any messages for anybody in the chat room? Now, if you call in, you don't want to do the spirit box. That's cool. You can call in and talk about anything tonight. You can say, no, I'm not here for the spirit box. You want to call in for something else. I said I might do a tarot card reading. I don't know. I don't know if I can pull it off. Rob's here, yeah.
I'm listening.
Do you have a message for Rob?
Did you say I was fat?
No insulting. No. You have a message for Rob?
I'm and spend some time.
Heal.
Main Street, the one over your ear to always the
Debbie heard Rob go spend some time.
I've had lots of time lately.
Yeah, he's got all the time in the world, spirits. Lori heard it too.
Veracity.
I heard veracity.
I spent quite a bit of time today working on stupid computers and iPhones and.
What do they want you to spend time on?
Yeah. What should I be spending on time?
Here.
Brianna said, Rob, I just heard someone say, don't use that creepy voice.
Exactly. But it just comes out naturally.
Said kidding. Spirits, yeah, we're here to talk to you. Spirits have any messages for me? No? Okay, moving on then. Jamie? Again, you can call in 219-230-4444, 260-225-9419, or Skype IDs OOJBland00 or JBland Paranormal Soup.
I'd like.
The waves are going to be good this week, but the beach is closed. But you know me, I'm not one for rules, so.
Spirits have anything to say about the coronavirus?
No.
No.
Can you say Darcy?
Yeah. 3.
It sounded like it.
Just. I don't. 6. 3.
Echoes? Should I put the echo on? Is that what you're saying?
I heard my last name, but I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know if it said man or Bland.
I know, I wasn't sure.
That was kind of weird.
My heart. Extremely.
My heart's extremely.
Flop. Really like it. So.
I like the sound.
Suffering or man?
And what? Like the book. Thinking.
Write the book, thank you. Or I thought she said write the book, thank you.
Yeah.
Write the book, thank you. Is that for me to write the book?
So me. And then. Beautiful. Realize.
Again, do the spirits have anything for people in the chat room? Don't forget, people can call in 219-230-4444, 260-225-9419, or Skype ID OOJBland00 or JBland Paranormal Soup.
There was you need to go now.
I don't know if my friend Karen is still in the chat room, but do the spirits have a message for her?
Help? No. Oh.
Or sound like peace be with us. I don't know.
More time.
More time. Sleep.
Anything.
Does she have a shadow person in her house that's been messing with her?
Oh, that's right. I saw her comment. That was right. I forgot about Karen's comment about shadow people.
What?
Karen's still watching. Please call in. I'd love to talk to you about it. I've had my own shadow person experience.
It was terrible. Fusion.
Can the spirits tell us what are shadow people?
We're not gonna. 10.
I also say anybody who's called in earlier that wants to call in for a spirit box session, I'll allow 2 calls tonight. It's fine. Who do you want to talk to, spirits?
Pentacles.
Spectacle.
Full treatment.
Or pentacle.
Oh.
Not completely. Rounds. Yeah, that was she.
This is the Spiritus.
Okay.
Shadow.
What about shadows?
More. Okay.
Ask him why we see some spirits as shadows.
What was that?
Ask him why we see some spirits as shadows.
Small family.
Can you tell us why we see shadow people?
Already. Some time.
Something disturbed in time. Fun. Camilla?
Yes.
Yes? Is Camilla here for somebody?
I didn't wait. Is it?
Does the name Camilla mean anything to anyone?
Yeah.
I heard something about princesses.
Take it home with.
Are we talking about the royal family here?
Hey.
Fancy.
Und Eusebio, you're hilarious.
Everyone.
Problems.
Yeah. Give you.
Hornet.
Again, guys, you can call in 219-230-4444, 260-225-9419, or Skype ID OOJBland00 or JBland Paranormal Soup.
I'm just gonna pretty much even up.
Sure.
10.
Dave.
Here, Jim.
Rob's here.
I'm listening. You have a message for me?
Or leaving.
So it means.
We got somebody on the phone line here. We got 860 area code. Who do we got?
Azariana here.
Hey, Azariana, we got about 3 minutes before the commercial break, so we might hold you over for the commercial break. We're getting some good stuff, but you want to try the spirit box, or you had something you want to call in about?
No, spirit box.
Okay, well, you talk to him, Azariana.
Any messages or spirits coming through for me?
What?
Again, spirits, any messages for Ziriana?
It's just so you don't get. Three.
Did
Talk
they
to
say her name?
Ziriana.
Just say hello.
Yeah. Look, spirits, I'm looking for anything if anyone's out there.
Keep it.
Spirits out there?
Mom's still alive.
Mom's something?
Mom's still alive?
That's a
Some of your
Sound
get rid of the food. Just stop.
No.
Recognize me.
recognize me?
Nope.
Maybe Amy?
Ask.
This reading, meanings of the
Ask this reading.
are met, your needs.
She needs to listen back to that part. There might be
Yeah.
something in there.
I heard a lot.
Animal.
I know the animal part. Is this Amy coming through for Ziriana?
It's not Amy. So it's not Amy.
No. Something about they're a zombie, I heard.
That's funny.
I heard a Chad. I don't know.
Is there any other messages for Zariana?
Whoa. Whoa. Turn down the spirit box there because we got to go to
Definite
commercial break.
F-bomb.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Ziriana, do you want to hang on during the commercial break?
Sure, I can do that.
All right, we'll hang you on, Ziriana, because you only got a couple minutes. We'll give you a little bit more time when we come back. But we're going to go to commercial break, guys, to tell the spirits to take a break for a moment. When we come back, we'll have the
Guys,
phone
in
lines
timeout.
open. Yeah, we'll have the phone line. We'll put the spirits in timeout. We'll come back with Ziriana, see if they have anything more to say without the F-bomb. That was dropped, I heard. But, you know, that's how the spirits are. But you can call in and see if the spirits want to talk to you, or if you want to talk about anything else. What's going on in your life with coronavirus? Did you see? I should say, if you were out on California's coast and you saw a UFO during the March 31st when all these other people are, I'd love to hear about it. So call in. All right, guys, we'll be back after the short commercial break.
Intercepted transmission of unknown origin.
Transmission? Out here?
SOS.
Human.
Unknown.
Alien. Certificate X. Exclusive engagement at the Odeon Leicester Square. Now.
Any systematized transmission indicating a possible intelligent origin must be investigated.
In space, no one can hear you scream.
The international chart-topping Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest has been described as terrifyingly real, a must-read, shocking and chilling brilliance, genuinely worrying, utterly frightening. Don't read before bed. Described as one of the spookiest writers out there, best-selling author G.L. Davies presents Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest, the true paranormal account that is shocking the world. Dare you enter? Dare you read? Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, and wherever books are sold. Pray you never have to live there.
Phantasm, the film that puts the fun in the funeral. And as for a fiendish story, it does have a burial plot. Come prepared to scream, because if this one doesn't scare you, you're already dead. Phantasm from Avco Embassy Pictures. Rated R under 17, not intended for parent.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do Voices from Beyond, the Cold Case Files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
This fall, a new hard-hitting police drama is coming to Friday night. He was a well-to-do cop transferred to a troubled precinct downtown. His new partner is a space traveler with a passion for justice. It's Yuppie and the Alien.
Look, you might vaporize dissidents in Alpha Centauri, but in this precinct, we do it by the book.
I'm so terribly sorry, Captain.
Goog, I'm sorry. Don't miss this one-of-a-kind police drama. They're fighting crime the hard way, in designer clothes, with $250,000 sports car and a UFO.
Partner, let's go cruise in the car and look moody.
One tough downtown precinct, two outsiders doing things their way. Yuppie and the Alien on VBC.
If you are interested in discovering the truth about the paranormal and want to hear from leading researchers in the field, join Justin Brown on his 3 weekly shows named My Paranormal Soapbox, Necromancer Live Show, and the Supernatural Symposium, live on Facebook, YouTube, and InterfaceDiv.net.
The night is alive. Join us and take a walk on the weird side when you tune in to the Kingdom of Nye, hosted by Heather Wade, the finest in late night talk. Listen live free weeknights starting at 9 p.m. Pacific time at thekingdomofnye.com, talkstreamlive.com, and the Paranormal Radio app. Wanna take a ride?
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from Talkstream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Heat 'em up.
Do, re,
Egon!
I was trying to get something really cool to play that Rob made for the show, and it still didn't work. But we're on. We are doing live Spirit Box. We got Zuriana on hold, but the phone lines are open. I was trying to get Rob's cool little thing. He has a phone line thing we're trying to work in where Rob comes in and says the phone lines for me, but I'm going to have to do it. 219-230-4444 is one of the phone lines. 260-225-9419. You can call in at Skype IDs OOJBland00 or JBland Paranormal Soup. Those are the ways to call in. If you call in and we're talking to somebody else, I might have to hang up on you or wait till we call upon you if you're waiting on hold. But let's go ahead and get back to the show. All right. You still there with us, Zuriana?
Yeah, I am.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see what spirits have anything more to say. And then I want to say to Karen that's in the chat room, I heard you mentioned earlier in the show about your shadow experience. After Zuriana gets off, you should call in. I'd love to talk to you about it because I've had my own experiences with it. But go ahead and fire up the spirit box, Rob. We'll give it a few more minutes.
Thank you, Rob.
Okay.
Hands, especially.
Any messages for Zuriana? We still got her on the phone, spirits.
Let me just.
Any messages coming through? Any spirits for me?
No, sir. No.
Look through the window. I don't know if you want to dare to look through your window right now, is there?
It's nighttime.
It's when you look through your window and you see a ghostly face after it says something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the
Spirits, what messages do you have for Azariana?
Again.
Pumpkin?
I thought I heard her name, but I hit my camera by accident.
I thought I did too.
Red.
Thank you.
No.
Vanya, thank you.
Maybe it's hard for them to come through.
It says help.
What do you need help with?
Here's some.
You feel. Yeah. I heard that bomb in there.
Completely.
Yeah.
And while that's here.
All right, Zuriana, call out the one last time.
All right.
Again.
Any messages? Any messages from Amy or Spirit?
Anything like
It would be nice. I don't think my son would come through. I don't think, and I know the other one would come through, so that's why I asked for Amy.
What up?
Does Amy have a message for Azariana?
to the water septum.
Heard something about the water. I don't know.
Would a finger be a key keyword for you?
Like a gust of Missouri. Not an
No.
Is this?
Please.
And 10, 8,
Something about crown again. It's like third time I heard something about crown.
How gets
Something about water.
Yeah, I heard the water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, spirits. Can you say goodbye to Azuriana?
All right. Thank you, spirits. Maybe another time. Everyone have a good night. Rob,
You too.
Jamie, and
Stay safe, Azuriana.
okay.
Thanks for calling.
Bye-bye.
Such a
All right. Phone numbers are 219-230-4444, 260-225-9419, Skype ID 00JBland00 or JBland Paranormal Soup. Those are the ways to call in. The phone lines are open if you want to see spirits talk to you. Or Karen, I know I saw her in the chat room. I'd love to hear what she's got going on with the shadow person experiences, because that's something I did go through when I was young. It was in my, I was like 17 to 18, and yeah, it was pretty crazy. Now, everybody I've seen have totally different. I mean, I've had, some people have very similar experiences as I had, and other people have completely different. And some people I think are seeing shadows that are just spirit, and then there's some people that have experiences like me where the shadow person's alien-like. I don't know.
I think she needs the actual number in chat so she can.
I put one of the numbers in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Rob just posted it there. That's the two main phone numbers are open right now. You can call in 219-230-4444, Skype ID 00JBland00. Then the other ones are 260-225-9419 or Skype ID JBland Paranormal Soup. But I'd love to hear what she's got going on with Shadow Person.
She's got some good ones.
You know a little bit about it?
Yeah.
Too fast. 219-230-4444. So I tried to play Rob's nifty little thing, but it wouldn't play. Like I kept hitting, I had it on Dropbox to play on the other channel to play over it. And it was like not playing. I'm like, oh man, come on. Anything the spirits want to tell us? Any messages for anybody in the chat room? You want to talk about Karen's shadow people? Where's the spirits now?
Oh, it's still going?
I don't know. I don't hear it. There it is.
Anything.
Anything?
We hear something now.
Three.
Simply Beautiful asks, is my mom and dad here? Confirm that. Say your mom and dad's names, I guess, to confirm that. Or say Simply Beautiful's name. We don't know her name.
She told me that she knows that Sorasis. Maybe I might one day.
special chance. And as each
A message.
Yep.
Who's the message for?
Family.
Family?
Family.
Doctor.
Doctor?
Now?
All right, I think I have Karen on the line if this is her, because I saw she said she wanted to call in. So I kind of want to hear this before we run out of time. So put the spirit box on hold for a minute because I want to hear this. I'm always interested in that. 904 area code. Who do we got?
This is Karen. I'm calling from St. Augustine, Florida.
Well, thank you for calling
thank you for being so patient because you were giving the numbers so fast. That's why I went too fast. I had to get my glasses. I had to get a pen. Anyhow, I'm having some issues with some shadow. Well, I have come with research, have become to know as shadow people, and it's terrifying. Absolutely flippin' terrifying.
Are you sounding like my experience?
I see them in the corner of my room. They are well. I'm 5 foot tall. I weigh about 110 pounds, but still, I'm really not intimidated by anything. But I find myself, I can't get out of my bed. I am so afraid of this force that's over there, and I'm not sure. I mean, is it in my head? Is it me? But I can't figure it out, and it doesn't matter. I can go from house to house to house to house, and it comes with me.
Right.
So I don't know if it's like a demon that's locked onto me, or if there's some just spiritual force that can't let me go. I don't know what it is, but it's terrifying, and it's real. And I really have tried to fight it and fight it and fight it. Dude, I swear to God, I'm like, okay, oh, this is my mind. Oh, maybe I did one too many shots of tequila last time. No, it's not that. It doesn't matter. It's with me. It's right flipping there, and it's really come back in a full force about 2 months ago. Rob is a friend of mine, and I called him, and I said, hey, and this is what's going on. And this is the first time that I've been able to talk to somebody that my phone hasn't shut down in the middle of a conversation.
Oh, yeah.
I'm serious.
Yeah, no, I believe you.
Because it's sucking all the energy out. It's taking from whatever I have. And I will be in the middle of a conversation about this. And my phone will just poof, dead. Doesn't matter. I could even have it plugged in, and it doesn't matter.
Zirian puts
what was your experience? I mean, what did you feel? Was it anything like this? I mean, did you feel helpless? And
yes.
I mean, I'm scared.
So when it happened, I would say I picked it up from a place I didn't know. A number of weird deaths had occurred. And I wasn't ghost hunting. I was only 17 when I really picked this thing up for the first time, but it really started attacking me at 18 when I went and really stuck my nose in it. And it usually came at me at night. And I would see it full on, not out of the corner of my eye. I would see it full on in my room, or sometimes outside. I would see it at other places, but usually at night, and would see it in my room. I couldn't move. And it would do this thing where it would rip me out of my body at times and show me things. And it really felt like it fed off my anxiety, my fear, my self-doubt, and real deep personal things I can never talk about.
Like I said, I'm a small girl, and I'm not into. I've experienced.
It scared the living hell out of me.
With astral catalepsy, and I mean, I'd be sound asleep and paralyzed in bed, and my legs would be. I would feel like they were up over, like, parallel to my head, and that I was being pulled out. But I got past this. I got past that. This is something completely different. Is this a demon?
I never quantified mine as a demon. I never have. I still haven't.
I never gave him the power to think that, but whatever it is, man,
it's not good. It's evil.
What to do with this?
Well, for me,
it is absolutely the epitome of evil.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, there's something negative in my life that I'm drawing this to me. What can I possibly do? I mean, I'm calling you to ask you, and you told me that you experienced it too. And he's not always there. He's not always there.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't there last night. 2 nights ago he was there. And I mean, I open my eyes and I get up to just go to my little bathroom in my house, and he's there in that corner, and he's watching me. Yeah. It's never been violent. It's never struck me. It's never been anything like that. But it's that force. I feel that force, and I see him.
See,
and
it started out. It
8 feet tall.
Oh yeah.
A human figure with no face, no eyes.
It's blacker than black.
Oh, yeah.
And mine was.
He makes himself known. And
Karen.
It's scary. It's so scary. What can I?
Well, I was going to say, for me, I felt like I had some divine intervention, to be honest. When the scene finally had broken me way down after 4 or 5 months of it really like torture me, especially at night. But I would see it. One time walking up to a friend's house, I saw it right outside that friend's door before something big was.
In the daytime? Oh my God!
Not in the daytime. No, it was at night. It was at night. I've only saw it at night. Except I think there's a couple times I saw it during the day in my bedroom.
I've seen it in the daytime.
I've seen it. I saw it in the daytime in my bedroom once during this. But mostly it was
I saw it in the daytime, and I called Rob. I'm like, you need to talk to me right now, Rob. You should tell me what the hell.
Well, but I say it was some divine intervention, because one night it attacked me again in my bed, but this time it was physically levitating me up off my bed and throwing me down. It did it 3 times. The third time it lifted me back up. It was levitating me up and get ready to throw me down. And I just said,
I said, this is what I have to look forward to. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I just called. I just thought I couldn't speak, but I could just think in my mind, God, please, God, help me. I'm sorry. Help me, God. I need you now. And it was just boom, flash of white light, and this thing screeched. I could hear it. I don't know if I could hear it with my ears or if it was in my head, but I could hear this screech, and this thing was gone. And I saw for a split second.
That's crazy.
Yeah, for a split second, I saw an older man that later I've looked at pictures, looked like my great grandfather.
Crazy. What I know is that it's crazy.
Yeah,
but it would humanize itself like that, because I have not gotten that.
Yeah,
and I pray to God that I don't, and I'm trying to hold on to my faith. But listening to you, oh my friend, you must have been absolutely horrified.
Yeah, I had no idea what was going on.
I didn't know it screeched.
I just wanted to talk to somebody about it and maybe give me a little bit of understanding.
One thing I know is you have to cut off its food. You have to cut off what I think is its food source is your fear. I gave my fear to God, I think, at that moment, and gave it all to God, like but I think that's what it feeds off.
I'm really not intimidated. I mean, I'm a little tiny girl, but I'm not intimidated, and I'm really not afraid of anything. But this had me locked in my bed in sheer terror.
Yeah, that's what it wants.
Want to get up.
That's what it wants. It's feeding off of that somehow, I believe. The other thing I've discovered more recently in my life is this shadow person stuff did start somewhat not long after a camping trip where I had some UFO alien stuff involved. I don't know if there's a connection, but I've wondered that, because I've talked to other abductees, and they've had some shadow person experiences. So it makes me wonder, because I've always felt this thing felt alien to me. And maybe it's because I'm a Gnostic and I don't quantify things as demonic or not. It's not that I don't believe. I just question everything.
It's that. I think it's more your spirit. And like I said, after the astral catalepsy thing that I experienced, I mean, oh my God, I was a radio disc jockey for 13 years. And I would have to be in the studio at 4:30 every morning. And I would be lying flat in bed. And believe me, I had a 40-year-old daughter. I was a single mom. Sleep was precious.
Right.
And I would be flat in my bed, and my legs would just get up. I don't know if they actually did levitate, but it felt that way. And I felt like I was being pulled out of my body.
Yeah.
I was paralyzed. I would scream. I would reach, and there was nothing I could do. Nothing. So I don't know if.
I think that's why I levitated at that time. I think the reason it was levitating me up those 3 times is because I was fighting it not to rip me out of my body again. And it just, I remember just it lifting me up. I could hear this. It had this evil Joker laugh that I would hear. And I would levitate me up. It would levitate me up, and all 3 times I felt it. I came all the way up to my ceiling. I had one of those little stucco-like ceilings, you know, where you feel the little rivets, bumps in it, you know. And I would feel that my nose touched that. That's how far it lifted me all the way up, and then would drop me back down and laugh. But it was trying to rip me out of my body.
It was just my legs, though, that felt levitated. And in the corner, there was this black mass. So I don't know. I mean, what was that? My shadow person connecting to me then? And it's followed me, and it doesn't, like I said, my friend, it doesn't matter where I move, where I go. I'm on different beds. I live in different houses. It doesn't matter.
I think my best advice into it is to not give in to the fear of it. Fight it, and not with anger or hate. Just fight it with will. Because you have to, because that's what it feeds on. Because that's the thing. Once you realize, and that's why I've never been messed with it again, I believe, because once you realize the scene only can control you through your own fear and anger, you don't fear it anymore. It has no effect on you once you recognize it.
I mean, Rob told me I need to look at it and go, get out. You are not welcome here. You will not do this to me. You will not control me.
Exactly.
Do not get out. And I tried that. And I had a Bible in my hand. And I don't discuss religion or politics. But if it's any type of demonic force, they abhor any form of religion. So I thought that might, and I did exactly what Rob told me. And he was there night before last, and he was watching me, and you know, I'll try not to be afraid. I will take your advice. I'll give that a shot. Like I said, I don't fear very many things. I'm a really tenacious little chick, and
when it happens, especially when you're paralyzed. I was gonna say especially when you're paralyzed in your bed and you're seeing it, have it. That's the moment not to give in to fear. Focus on the one thing you'll be able to realize is your breathing. Focus on that and let go and become part of. Just focus on a white light coming in. That's my best advice. And focus on the positive. Okay. Bring up the best emotions in you, because that's not its food source. Its food source is your fear.
I'll say too that we were.
I guess. When was the last time you experienced anything with the shadow people?
It was years later, and I was really sick.
How long ago? From this point
on, say I'm 41, so this would have been when I was like 24.
Well, I'm 54, and it happened the day before yesterday. So
the shadow people can happen any point in your life. You could have picked it up from somewhere. It could be something a part of your ancestry. We don't know. There's so many questions. So what I don't know, I couldn't tell you what shadow people are. I'm still asking that question today, and I'm not willing to give in that it was just something demonic.
Thank you. I don't think it's necessarily demonic, but it's some kind of control factor. I mean, in our minds, is it, you know, some person from our past that is still trying to control us that has before, but it's real. I see it. I mean, I have sat up in my bed and blinked my eyes, and clear as day, it's right there. I told you that one time that I've seen it during the day, and it was really, really weird. I was like, oh my God. So is it in my mind? Is it in our mind?
No.
I mean, are we doing this to ourselves?
I don't think so.
There's a force and it doesn't matter where I go, my friend. I told you, house to house, place to place. And it takes a while to manifest, but it's there.
My theories
are in me.
No, my theories are that there are things we don't see that exist in an electromagnetic realm we don't understand, that are almost pictured as a virus or something that feeds off of a certain source, and that source is your fear and anger.
I'm open-minded to that. I get that.
Yeah.
I totally get that, and I fully believe. However, this is with me. It just doesn't make any sense.
But you have there's a part of you that, you know, if it's with you, there's an intention part to it too. You don't want to give it all. You don't want to give it your fear. You don't want to give it your attention. If I swear, the more I gave the same attention, the more I saw it, the more powerful it got. And I think it was partly fear and giving it attention. So you have to just push it away.
All right.
That's one deal.
Well,
There's a long time I feared talking about it because of that.
I try, but you know, the fear factor, I guess, is what breaks me down. Because I'm like, oh my God, there he is again. And the more, you know, fear it causes me, the more anxious I get. And, you know, you have a completely solid, valid point, because I get so terrified. And that's what feeds him. And that's what makes him come back.
Well,
what I'm asking you, other than, you know, what you said, what can I do to get this out of my room? Because he's with me. I can't, I mean, I just can't even.
I always say
paralyzed.
We're at the end of the show, but one of the things, Karen, I always say is, you know, look deeply within yourself to see how this thing could be attached to you. You know, look deeply at your past. But the main thing I can tell you is that you have to not give in to fear. That's the only advice I have on it from my own personal experience.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I know I've kept you for a long time. I'm sorry, and thank you for entertaining me on this, because this is terrifying to me.
I totally understand.
Me, and I get up to go to the bathroom, and it's in the corner of my room. And I can't even get past my bed because he's there. So thank you for understanding. Thank you for respecting, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Karen, for calling in and sharing too. You have a great night and stay safe.
As long as she's not in my room, I'll be fine.
Right.
Good night.
Good night. Well, that's it for the show, guys. We're going to eventually have a full ITC show again. It's just I get booked up with guests, and I almost was going to do an ITC show, but there's some guests I want to bring back on, like Carole, who's awesome. Next week, we're going to have a new guest, Stephen Burgess, the author of The Power of Past Life Regression. So we're going to get into more past life stuff. I'm interested to talk to him about that. But that's it for the show, guys. See you next Sunday. Same bad time, same bad channel. Don't forget to check us out on YouTube and Facebook. Make sure you follow and subscribe. Thank you to everyone who shares out the show. It's such a big help, but you can help out the show. $2 a month on Patreon does help pay the bills, which I'm hoping I can pay the bills. I'm furloughed from a job. But, you know, anything you can do to help. But those who do share the show out, that is the biggest help. Tell your friends about Paranormal Soup. This is a place to come, talk about the weird, the unusual, with open mind, and no negative thoughts about it, or people not listening to you. This is a place where we can all come together and talk about what to me is the most important subjects in the world, not what's all the other stupid crap that people talk about is here on Paranormal Soup. All right, guys, see you next week. Have a great night.
Thank you.